Hey, AJ.
Test.
Whoa.
Test. Is my mic okay?
Yeah, it'll do. It'll do. Radbuster in the chat says, Gamescast live on Friday. Nice weekend surprise, but I thought Brian took the week off. Guess there must be some real good stuff to talk about then. Boy, if one comment could encapsulate all of my feelings about everything that's been going on for the last 48 hours, it would be Radbusters. It's been a good week, man. It's been a good week, even though I promised myself I was going to take some time off. I was like, it turned out to be a bad week to take time off.
Yeah, that's good. That means that there's exciting stuff, which is sorely needed right now. And oh yeah, Flatout VR Studio is about to make a name for themselves today. Mm-hmm.
What kind of racist fucking accent? Wow. Okay, dude. I think we should maybe pretend that didn't happen. You need to watch
more movies.
I think that
we need to watch more.
We should pretend that didn't happen. And no, I'm kidding. Obviously,
stay up to date with your pop culture, Brian. Jeez, what's wrong with you? Speaking of which, did you go see the Alien movie?
I did not. I was actually wanting to go see it last night, but after failing my sleep study, I had to catch up on some sleep. Dude,
I might go see that movie tonight. I really want to.
Yeah, tonight. Oh man, I don't know if I want to go see it tonight. Maybe I'll go see it like during the day tomorrow when it's not like crazy busy. But I just feel like the theater's gonna be too crowded tonight. But yeah. Hey, let's start the show, AJ.
Oh yeah, we got stuff to talk about. Let's do that.
Let's do it. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single, I don't know, whatever day today is, 6 p.m. Eastern. We do it live for your viewing pleasure right here on YouTube. But we also get this thing up on audio services, podcast services of your choice, thanks to our good friend, Rypop. Shout out to Rypop. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, Without Parole. And then to my right, you're right, it's AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy One Live Friday, everybody. Hope you're all doing well out there. Woo-wee!
It's One Y Friday. I feel like we're missing a Y.
We are missing a Y.
Maybe, I feel like I'm missing a Y
chromosome.
Like I'm also getting canceled this week.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, Lordy.
Yep. Oh, man. Well, we know the cats have a good sense of humor, because if they didn't, we would have been fucking canceled years ago. AJ, dude, it's been a while since the last time you and I just did a show one-on-one. I feel like it's Monday, 2022.
What happened on this day on history, on PSVR2 Gamescast Live history?
I can promise you it wasn't anything fun or exciting.
It was, yeah, probably not. But it probably was just you and I. And yeah, it has been a while since we stop it. But yeah, man, no, it's nice. I like to change things up, man. You know, unlike you, that's like a robot that can just repeat the same thing forever. Very mechanical in that regard. I have to be spontaneous every now and then. That's one thing I love doing. So I love the change up.
I love that somehow you were like endorsing today's format and also simultaneously putting me the fuck down. You're like,
that's what I do.
Like, God, Brian, you're so fucking boring.
You know, if I ever find, I have to find some way to do it. I don't get a lot of chances to. So
yeah,
it's just my way of showing affection and that I missed you.
Mm-hmm. I love you too. The Game Cat Andrew Ehrenreich with the $5 tip says, after a week of struggling to get VR2 working on PC, I finally got it. Had to wipe my whole PC and do a fresh Windows 10 install, but now it's up. Boy, welcome
to PC gaming.
There's some PC gaming for you. But I know how he feels, because I finally got my N-Gage emulator up and running, and I'm super happy that I can play some Ashen. And for the one person out there who knows what the fuck that is, That's right. So I'm here for you. Yep. Also got the Gamecom emulator up and running. Remember the Gamecom, AJ?
No.
It was Tiger's LCD, like their game version of Game Boy, right? Different cartridges and shit, right?
No, I don't remember different cartridges. I just remember the kind of standalone things that would be like everywhere on every store end of each aisle in the store, any store, where they'd have like Hangman or some random licensed game, something. I didn't know they actually had like a dedicated console that actually had cartridges. No.
Yeah, this is it. This is the Gamecom, right? It starts up and it goes Gamecom. And then it plays this animation that makes it look like the whole thing is going to crash because it's going at like 3 frames per second. And you're like, this is not going to be a positive experience. But they got all of these licenses, dude. Like there's a Sonic game on it. There's a Mortal Kombat game on it. There's Resident Evil 2 is on it. And the performance is like worse than an OG Game Boy. And so it's like, why did you even do this? Right. But there's all these like weird games that are trapped on it. And now that I have an emulator that runs it, I get to finally play them.
I have no room to speak because I didn't have a Game Boy, but I had a Game Gear.
Listen, the Game Gear was fine.
Clearly, I have an affinity for things that are superior but less popular.
Right, which is why we cover PSVR2 on this channel.
Exactly.
Definitely superior but less popular. Right. Yeah, man. So anyway, yeah, Game Gear was great. I had Game Gear for a little while, but I don't think that's what people tuned in for, I guess. I ended up trading up. No, I think I had a Game Gear for like a week or something like that, and I was able to trade it in at Electronics Boutique and be like, I decided to get a Sega Genesis, and that was where my console gaming began. Wait, what did Andrew Ehrenreich say? Oh, right. That's right.
This is terrible.
Good. Andrew Bailey with the 2 quid says AJ doesn't like Flatout. He's racist and stuff.
That's so wrong. Yep. I am flatsist. I don't like flat games.
Okay. Wonderful. I don't know, man. What have you been doing? You've been obviously we weren't supposed to have a GAMESCAST this week, so like I'm a little bit all over the place. I don't remember the last time we've done this.
Just because of, that one little change up. Yeah, that's the only time.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's what you're saying, right,
dude? No, since this adapter has come out, I have been in love with it, and it was such a kind of long, boring summer, and it's nice that things are starting to ramp up, and that summer's starting to come to a close. The VR developers are getting interested in promoting their games again and releasing them, which is nice. That's kind of something I need to be excited about, VR. But in the meantime, obviously this VR adapter came out. It's been a huge deal for me personally. Because I've been able to find just like a whole new expansion and new ways to use my PSVR2 and a lot of awesome ways. And it's also been, I've been a console gamer for probably the last 20 years. So it's been really nice kind of exploring a new avenue with lots of new things to discover and mess with. And yeah, man. I've been having an absolute blast with the adapter, and I've been streaming a lot on my channel with it. Everything from Subnautica to Half-Life Alyx to to Unreal Engine VR mods with like Borderlands 3 last night, and my favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I've been having an absolute blast over here with that thing, and it's only just begun. There's so much more to play and discover. So really exciting time over on the Underground right now.
Excellent, guys. If you don't already subscribe to AJ over at the Underground, please, for the love of God, let's keep PC gaming the fuck out of without parole. And so subscribe to his channel, subscribe to Virtual Strangers. These are the guys who you're going to want to look to for. People keep asking for recommendations. You should make a top 10 list about, and I'm like, nope, because because you guys get that shit covered, and I got enough official PSVR2 games to play and review. And so
yeah, I actually joined. I joined Western Roots, and we did I did over there at Virtual Strangers. Joined them for a little PC talk. But yeah, I
missed
actually
that.
was gonna do an interactive chat last night. But then I saw you wanted to do a show, and yeah, there's just a lot of exciting stuff happening with PSVR 2 that was announced recently, and so like yeah, I was wanting to talk about it now that there's been some news, and so I said, hey, you know what? I'll just scrap my show that I had planned, and I'll just come here and hang out with you, and we'll talk about it instead.
Sounds like a plan. I like it.
Mhm.
Was this, I admit I didn't know you were on Virtual Strangers. Was that a first for you, or
Sunday.
had you been on before?
That was a second. But Wes and I had been talking behind the scenes. I mean, ever since the PC announcement stuff, the PC adapter announcement, him and I have been talking privately like for months leading up to it, and just going back and forth, talking about it and stuff. So, yeah, it was nice to actually get up there and get to do like a formal show and discussion on it. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, man, those shows are always long. It's like you just got to make sure you get your coffee brewed and that you're settled in for the night, because like I mean, we've done a lot of long shows over here, but they put us to shame. It's crazy. Um, Here real quick, want to make sure we don't miss any of these. We've got Snafu, the $2 tip says, don't know how the joke started, but I love Stained a lot. So here's something I didn't know. When we do, it's been a while. I've been saying that over here on Without Parole since the Jeremy and Michelle and Des days. Like that was a running gag during the original Midnight Gamescast run, and I had no idea that like lots of other people do the exact same thing, like on different podcasts and shit like that. I only learned like last week. Somebody told me. I was like, whoa. I was like, we've been doing it for a long time, so I feel confident we didn't like accidentally rip somebody off. But
Way too long.
yeah, yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, so that was interesting to find out that we are not the only ones that do that. Just shows how uncreative we are over here. Thundercat. Oh, with the level 2 membership says, I guess scroll, I can't read it. Genuinely thought it was Sunday for a moment. Why messing with our heads, man? Because that's what I do, man. I just mess with your fucking heads. Yeah, I'm a goddamn liar, dude. I was like, I'm gonna take a week off. I really need a week off. And then next thing I know, I was like scheduling GamesCast Live, and I've got a PSVR this week that I'm putting together for either tonight or tomorrow. So I'll just take days off when I need them. I don't need a whole week off. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to think that. Oh, he just plays video games for a living. How hard could it be? Deadbringer the Game Cat with the level 1 membership says, it's awesome to see you two together. It's only
awesome
just begun.
In the chat together.
We're all here.
Distracting me from anything that Brian's saying.
I'm just gonna make I'm just gonna make references to how we're in a homosexual relationship together, AJ. I don't know what you could possibly need distraction from.
Good, great.
I think the chat would totally ship us if we asked them to. AJ, since it probably won't be a viewer takeover this Sunday, because there hasn't been in 3 weeks, we got a pretty good viewer takeover question, I think, to start the show with. And on that note, you guys, I want to say, I want viewer takeover to be a thing, especially during these slower times while we're waiting for things to pick back up. I want viewer takeover to be a thing, but really need your support in order to do it. And so like when I'm like, oh, should I do a viewer takeover this week? And then I go to the viewer takeover channel on Discord and see that like no one has posted new viewer takeover questions. I'm like, that makes it easy. We don't have anything really to talk about. So the more viewer takeover questions you post, the more likely it is that we'll have a viewer takeover show on Sunday. I can't speak. Samson, I want to talk to Samson with the $5 tip.
Samson.
Says, so hyped for all these flat to VR games just starting now. Be live soon. Oh, yeah. We got to play it on 1.5x to get caught up. Barglesoft says, is Bri J a thing now? Maybe.
I like that. Brad J.
Yeah. As long as I come first. and frequently. AJ, we got a viewer takeover question from Steve IRE. Dude, this might be the last show we ever do, so let's enjoy it. Steve IRE's in the viewer takeover channel writes, hashtag viewer takeover, what do you make of the narrative about PSVR2 in the media, particularly on YouTube, doing an almost 180 turn? I've seen nothing but glowing praise apart from Digital Foundry's bullshit, which I guess I missed because I didn't see any of that. Amazing how just doing two simple and right things, like a price drop and releasing the PC adapter, changes people's perspectives. AJ, what do you think about the narrative that PSVR 2 is done on 180?
I stopped paying attention to what the media and the narrative around PSVR 2 was a while ago because, quite frankly, it felt hopeless. No matter what they did, it was always bad in their eyes. So I didn't see this Digital Foundry video. I did see it did pop up in my feed somewhere where it's like Bluetooth issues, and they've got their stupid face on the front cover making a stupid face.
We just can't,
just like every popular YouTuber does. But no, I'm just kidding. I have a lot of respect for that crew. They are all just about the technical side of things. So, but I didn't see that, and I'm wondering, obviously, it has to do with the connectivity issues with the Bluetooth and PSVR 2. But of all people, you would think that like the people that go around, are known as the technical savvy people wouldn't have a thing about their struggles with the Bluetooth. When all of us, regular civilians are, figuring out how to get it to work properly and everything. But I don't know. I didn't see the video, so maybe it's just maybe it's just clickbait. But anyways, it's great. It's obviously awesome because I firmly believe that, with the way that kind of like gaming culture has been over the last couple years, it's really turned pretty bad. It's turned into a bunch of console wars. It's almost turned into like this really mean-spirited like politics almost, which is weird because these are just entertainment devices, and so it's kind of strange that people worship them like gods. But and I think kind of what had happened was everyone's kind of been spoiled to the point to where they just can't really appreciate the things that they are getting, and it gets caught up in this console war nonsense. And so now that the video games industry all but collapsed, I think people are starting to realize there are some good things that we need to appreciate and support more. And then also it helps that Sony makes some good moves on their side, things like the price cut and things like the PC support as well, because it just, the less limitations, the better.
Yeah. It's all positive, and so I don't want to put a damper on that. It's all positive, and we should be happy about the positive news. I just don't like the fact that people are like suddenly like realizing that something or trying to say that something has dramatically changed. Listen, I love when things are more affordable. That way, more people can enjoy them. But it doesn't change the fact that PSVR 2 has been good since launch. It's been a nice quality headset. Is it perfect? No. Does it have a lot of awesome features that other headsets don't have, especially when it comes to controllers and haptics and triggers and all that? Yes, right. And for a lot of people, it's the best way to play VR games. This is something that we've been trying to tell you guys for fucking 8 years now. Like we've been pushing this boulder up the hill, being like, oh, PSVR 1 is great, and then people being like, oh, PSVR sucks, blah blah blah, and it's like, all right, fine, like whatever. And as much as I respect different people's opinions, I don't see how these minuscule changes have completely turned around people's viewpoints. I don't understand how it's a 180 perspective change, right? Yeah. If it was a 90-degree perspective change, if they were heading down this road going, you know what, it is great, and it's got a lot of great games, and it's quality console headset, makes things easy, easy plug and play, right? And then they go, but I can't do the modding stuff that I want to do on PC, and they have like these minor complaints, and then they do this 90-degree turn where they're like, oh, and now it does everything I want to do, and now I'm really happy with it. That'd be one thing. But the narrative hasn't been that. The narrative for the last year and a half has been there's no games because the media is so fucking lazy when it comes to reporting on shit that they don't even want to put the headset on or look at the PlayStation Store or go watch a couple of reviews. Instead, they're like, oh, Meta sent us this email, so that's the narrative we're going to go with. We're just going to read off whatever the PR speak from Meta is going to be, right? And so
I mean, somewhat. It's also just a lot of echo chamber. Like, again, it's like politics, man. It's crazy. It's like politics have invaded the gaming space. And what happens in there is you get a lot of misinformation, a lot of biased information that is like half truths and everything. And it doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's just like, this is the stance we're taking. And I did see something else that was funny though. It's not just a VR problem. It sounds like it's just gaming in general. I think us as PSVR2 fans feel it more because the impact is a lot more, is a lot greater. But if you take a look around, I see a lot of conversations, a lot of discussions about it's kind of like how people make fun of Star Wars and they say like nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. It's kind of happened to gaming where it's like it almost seems like nobody hates gaming more than gamers.
That's true.
And I get that there's a lot of people that are passionate and they want the right thing, they want the best things, but they're also just like need to practice a little like self-control and I don't know, like, again, learn to appreciate the things that you do get, or no, you know what, better yet, just learn to be a little bit more constructive. You can have these conversations where you criticize things. We do it all the time, but it's usually we do our best to back it up with facts, with constructive discussions and things like that. And I just think, yeah, man. But I 100% agree with everything you said, in most of it, anyways. Yeah, you nailed it.
Well, listen, I mean, like, everything needs a little bit of time to grow, and everything needs its chance to really spread its wings. And it took PSVR2 a little bit longer, I think, for most people, to get to a price point that they wanted to have for it, to have the PC compatibility that they wanted to have. Really happy that it's in a good place right now. However, it just seems to me that like I'm seeing nothing but like my recommended feed on YouTube, and let's be very clear here. I watch a lot of social commentary stuff, a lot of political commentary stuff, and retro gaming stuff on YouTube, right? The last thing I want to do when I'm not doing VR stuff is to watch VR stuff in my free time. My recommended feed has been filled with people being like, PSVR2 is awesome now. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad you finally fucking figured your shit out, right? Like we've been telling you that for a year and a half. Glad you figured it out.
There was a similar kind of a thing that PSVR 1 went through, where it just took a long time for people to kind of figure it out, like how good it actually was. And I can't explain why. Maybe it is weird. There's, like I said, I think it's driven by a lot of bias, a lot of passionate people that are very attached and to their preferences, which is completely fine to feel that way
to an extent,
but also
it's fucking
but also
gaming.
when you're a fan of something, and being a fan of something basically means that you spend all day on other platforms and just live there shitting on them, then maybe you need to look in the mirror and be like, yeah, maybe there's a better way to live my life than to be a complete scumbag.
Yeah.
But let me say one more thing. This just shows, Brian, that I think this PC adapter was a big deal, and that I think there's a lot of people out there that are worried that the effect that this will have, that by releasing the PC adapter, that developers are going to stop focusing on PSVR 2 on PS5, that Sony's going to stop focusing on PS5, and obviously what happens remains to be seen. But I think it kind of should show that with this move, if there's any chance of of PSVR2 kind of recovering, this is an example of one of those things that can kind of kickstart that recovery and turn things around. I mean, it's maybe it starts with the narrative, and then eventually it leads to sales because that narrative around it has changed, and then that leads to more development and support for it. Because right now, Sony seems like they haven't completely given up on it, but they're kind of just operating at this lowest functionality possible, just to kind of keep it alive, but not throw all their money, not invest too heavily into it, and just kind of like organically let it grow. And I think that's what it needs in many ways. If they come out shooting with Gran Turismo 7 in full VR and Resident Evil Village in full VR, and that wasn't enough to do it, then from a business perspective, it's like, yeah, like, let's dial it back a little bit. But also Sony's kind of a mess right now, so there's that too. They're changing leadership a lot, and they're going through some things. So there's tons of factors that can play into this. But my whole point I wanted to say was, like, this is a positive thing that this adapter came out. Yep. And hopefully there's more positive moves and things like game releases and other ways of support that come out for the device that kind of help it grow and help VR as a whole, because really all VR should be supporting each other instead of this. There's no room for this console war bullshit in the VR space, because that's going to basically kill it instantly.
All I heard is Meta sucks, and they shut down Ready at Dawn and then canceled San Andreas. That's all I heard while you were talking. Yeah. Is that not the message you were trying to get across, AJ? Because listen, like,
imagine if the shoe was on the other foot.
Well, I mean, this is where the narrative, where there's some where there's not there's double standards. There's like Sony hasn't even gotten out a new showcase or new state of play recently, and everyone, they're not supporting VR, right? And then what about Quest, man? Like why aren't we hearing the same thing over there? Like, after they shut down Ready at Dawn, after they just canceled Grand Theft Auto, it's like, listen, it's fine if you want to say Sony's not supporting VR, but then but then you're gonna say Meta's like fucking firing on all cylinders. It's just maddening, and I'm not trying to say we should shit on Meta. I'm saying, hey, just fucking everybody chill, right? Like, I'm not interested in the console wars. I'm not interested. It's like, these are video games. They're supposed to be for entertainment. Why people get so vitriolic about something that's supposed to be fun, right? And that's when it just becomes.
If you're
exhausting.
Not having fun, then go away. Don't try to bring other people down.
Yeah. And I think that's what wears me out more about running without Parole than anything else, right? It's just like nonstop.
I 100% agree. The last couple of years have taken a huge toll on me mentally and just everything. Yeah, just for liking something and wanting to support it.
We got Niles riding the game field with a $5 tip in the chat. Says, I'm with you, Brian. Oh, thank goodness someone is. Still too many PSVR2 games coming to even think about PC compatibility yet. Meow. Thanks, Niles Ryan. And I think I completely understand that, like, people like me and Ryan we're kind of in the minority when it comes to like hardcore PSVR2 owners. Like, there are people who just like, let's see what this thing can do. Like, let's get it on the open road and spread its wings and other euphemisms I don't understand. And that's cool, right? I totally understand that by not covering PC stuff, like, it's going to be a massive hit to the channel, and I'm totally fine with that. Macho, the real estate procrastinating game cat with the $2 tip says, thank you, Brian, for not playing hooky tonight. What does I mean? Oh, I miss you? Is that what it means? Oh, dude. I had to figure that one out all by my lonesome. Thanks, Macho. We got Mako XL with the Canadian $5 tip says, just wanted to say hi to you both. Well, hello back to you, my Canadian friend. Oh, wait, hold on. It's another Mako tip. Canadian $2 tip says, number one, Brian can't take vacations. I'm learning that. I suck at it. Also, apparently I suck at sleeping. If anybody doesn't know, like, the one of the big reasons I was like, I just need some time off. Had all these different appointments, doctor's appointments, and different shit, just things I need to take care of. One of them was a sleep study that I didn't even know was fucking coming up. Right? They were horrible at, like, being like, hey, we scheduled this. It'll be in a month from now. No, it was like the day before. They're like, hey, and I was like, oh shit. And let me tell you guys. My sleep study went horribly wrong. All they needed for me to do was show up at the hospital and sleep for 6 hours. I slept for like 2 hours. I'm a horrible sleeper, apparently. And they were like, well, we can't even continue the study because you didn't even sleep long enough for us to get the data we needed. Like, this blows. But I got to go home early, and Tornado missed me, so it was all good. How's your sleep, AJ? You get good sleep? You wake up feeling refreshed?
Oh, I don't sleep much anymore. But I did get okay sleep last night.
I don't sleep much anymore.
I don't get enough sleep anymore.
Did you have a kid and not tell me? Like, what the fuck is going on?
No.
There?
No. I don't know why. I was really disciplined and was doing really well for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, feels like for the last 6-7 months, I get like maybe 5 hours sleep a night, and it's just not enough for how much I do when I'm awake.
Well, then maybe you need to look into into products from our new sponsor, MeUndies. Take it away. No, I don't have a sponsor. The MeUndies would be great because I definitely could use some new underwear. All right, AJ. Sales charts came out over on the PlayStation blog. Always love when this happens, beginning of every month. So let's go over to the PlayStation blog and take a look at what the best-selling games on PSVR2 were.
All right,
bringing it up.
Sure, this will be exciting.
Is it? Are you not excited?
Actually, I think I saw it earlier. So
okay. All right, let's take a look. Tornado is like right here. I wish she would get on camera, but because I get to enjoy her and you guys don't get to. All right, PS4. Wait, hold on a second. PSVR2 games. Here we go. Here we'll start at the bottom of the list. We'll do a little countdown style. Waltz of the Wizard. We'll go with the North American stuff as well. That had a pretty big sale, didn't it? On the
I think one thing to preface this list is that there was a huge sale last month. And so, yeah, this is very much what was on sale the most driven list, top downloads list. But, there's still some that's stuck in there too, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. So Waltz of the Wizard is 10, Ultra Wings 2 is 9, Arizona Sunshine 2 is 8, 7 is Job Sim, no surprise there. 6 is Call of the Mountain, which is pretty nice to see.
It was on sale for like $40, I think,
which isn't like an amazing sale.
No, $30 is the sweet spot for that game for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think, at least when I'm doing sale videos, all the games are kind of in competition with each other, being like, hey, if you're not picking up this $4 game or this $2 game or this $7 game, like, do you really want to pick up a $40 game? Pavlov's at number 5, 4 is Among Us VR, 3. No, yeah, 3 is Towers and Powers, which was like
that's
$2.
Surprising to see.
Towers and Powers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I haven't played it, but just for such a, small indie title that, like, when I mean small, I mean like unknown.
Yeah.
Like a deep cut PSVR2 title. But like you said, I guess the $2 sale helped a lot. I've heard people like this game.
I enjoyed it. It would definitely be like a 2 out of 3 pause if I did a Brian Bite. I'd like to do a Brian Bite if I have a chance. I had a lot of fun with it. I played it for a few hours before doing a GAMESCAST with Wes one week, and it was good. Like, it was solid. And I mean, the launch price wasn't even that bad. I think it was like $15. So for it to go on sale for $2, or was this one of the $1 ones? It was crazy cheap. And so it was just an awesome deal. It's a fun game. And then we got Beat Saber at number 2, shocker, and then number 1 is Stilt, again, $2. Listen, I don't care.
Still awesome to see Stilt at the top, even though it was really fun watching everybody pick that up.
Yeah.
And play it, because we had been kind of saying like this game is worth $20, which is the normal price.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard to convince people to buy every single game out there. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of games. So I like the move of just, pretty much just dropping the price almost borderline free, because just to get people to play it. And then people saw how good it was and then started picking it up. And yeah, great game.
Yeah, and so the funny thing is that we learned recently why Legendary Tales was on top of this list. One of our contacts at a different studio told us about how sales charts work on the PlayStation blog. It's not by unit sold, it's by dollar sold, which is fucking bananas to me, right? It should be like which game sold the best, not which game pulled in the most money. Like that's some corporate bullshit that like gamers don't care about. We care about like which games sold the best. And so Legendary Tales being a $55 game and being on top of the sales charts just meant it sold, a handful of copies, a handful, like it sold okay, right? But at $55, it meant that it was like pulling in more actual money. And so when we see something like Stilt at the top of the sales charts, that is done by money pulled in and not done by units sold, that is a really good sign. That means it sold a fucking lot of copies, right? Because if each sale is only registering at $2 for the PlayStation blog, then that means, dude, they must have sold a ton of copies to get that to number one. So that is really, really, really reassuring.
So. What's the reviews? I mean, I don't know if I fully believe that metric of how that store, how they do that store thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I get that that's sounds like from an inside source or something, but I don't know if I fully believe that.
Okay.
Because
for the record, AJ also thinks that the Earth is flat.
No, I don't. I definitely do not. So I want to look at like the top downloads and stuff. I want to see like how many ratings does Stilt have on the store.
Oh, I bet it's got a shitload of ratings, dude. It was amazing to see the reaction because we'd been telling people how great it was and how much fun it was, and that it was good for a $20 game. I had plenty of content for a $20 game.
It has 190 ratings, Brian.
Okay.
190.
I've literally never rated a game on the PlayStation Store in my life. How many? What's a comparable game that we compare it to?
So the Cube dev, I think, debuted. I think they said it was like around 10,000 or something, and they had like 700 ratings.
To this day, they only have 767 ratings. To this day, so like, and my feeling is that people,
maybe it was like 500.
My feeling is now this is just, there's no evidence to back any of this up. This is just my feelings on it. My guess is that what happened was people actually went out of their way at launch to buy Cube full price and said, this is a game I've been waiting for. This is a game I want to play. And then that was their purchase. And they did the review thing on the PlayStation Store. And so my guess would be that especially when this is what I've seen from a lot of the cats out there, I've seen a lot of shopping carts where they bought Stilt and Towers and Powers and like 7 other games that were on sale. And they probably haven't even fucking played Cube yet. They probably haven't even played Stilt yet, right? And so, like, are you really going to go review it just because you got it for $2 and haven't played it? Probably not.
Yeah,
it's just a guess. Just a guess. These are not scientific facts. The Earth is round. I'm just trying to fucking get through the show, guys.
Okay.
I think it'd be way cooler if the Earth wasn't round. For the record, way cooler if everyone was just like, the last thing I'm going to do on this Earth, on this floating piece of paper. Going through the universe is to go and walk to the very edge and jump off. Like that's how I want to go. I think that'd be crazy. Make XO with the Canadian $10 tip says number 2. Oh, he says number 1 was Brian can't take vacations. He must be coming up with rules that like apparently we have to follow now. I didn't know this was a thing, that other people that we don't know in person can just decide what we're doing with our lives, but here we are. Mako says rule number 2, treat yourself better, guys. A lot of people out here that love what you're doing. At least that was a nice one. It wasn't like start an OnlyFans and like
show me your feet.
Make your family ashamed of you. Thank you, Mako. It was very, very nice of you. No matter how much I jest, appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate all your support. AJ, this sort of coincides with the VR game showcase that we'll be talking about in just a minute. But man, I want to talk about some upcoming release dates that we've got for PSVR2 games because one of the things I was really concerned about was that October was going to roll around and we're just going to get pounded all in the same week with like 17 different games. And I want to say that I'm really, really happy from what I've seen so far. That as the game release dates start getting announced and start filling in the calendar, we're seeing that they're getting very evenly spaced out. And so the newest ones that have been added to the calendar are Into the Radius, which is literally a month away, September 19th. That is phenomenal. We'll talk about that game in a second. Metal Hellsinger, October 3rd. So we've got a couple weeks in between these so far. Behemoth is November 14th. And then Alien Rogue Incursion is December 19th. So it's almost like we got like one big game a month. And these are just from the new ones that got added. We have like Wanderer, Fragments of Fate, and all sorts of other shit.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot more in between this, but it was nice to get some solid dates on here. And these are some pretty big, significant games. The ones that are not part of the showcase, like I think Metal Hellsinger. I don't know if that was on the showcase or not. Maybe it was. I don't think so.
Talk about it now. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's one I've been looking forward to, obviously. I think a lot of people are kind of anticipating that one. But the two big hitters coming at the end of the year, Behemoth, November 14th, and Alien Rogue Incursion, December 19th. And Alien had a brand new trailer. I'm assuming you saw it.
Yeah.
That had the Xenomorph trailer, and they showcased some new stuff. That game's looking pretty good, man. It's looking pretty fun and scary, I would say. Like it looks, they described it as an action horror, and it looks to be like you can see it. It's almost palpable. Like it's like you see the action, and then you see some shit that's scary. And it looks like, so far, it's looking pretty promising.
For whatever reason, I didn't have the newest trailer downloaded, so I'm grabbing that right now for us. I will say that I agree it looks promising. In fact, there's a lot of hatred about this game out there. We don't need to get into like the stupid DEI crap that people keep spouting. Yes, dude. The second a bunch of racist pieces of shit go, I have to play as a woman. I have to play as a black woman. Yeah, you guys can go fuck yourselves. Not interested in those opinions.
What was Ellen Ripley,
dude? It's just, anyways, it's just.
I don't know. That's parts of the internet that I don't even get involved in. You know, that's the beauty of
that part of the internet comes to me.
Right.
And I have to be like, I'm not interested in your nonsense, dude. Like,
unfortunately, you can't avoid it as easy because you get bombarded with just a bunch of idiots. But
right. But people did have like legitimate concerns as well. Like being like, this doesn't look exactly like, cutting edge graphically and everything like that. And they had some complaints about, animations and the way that, the aliens, the xenomorphs would move. And so it's like, okay, those are complaints I'm totally willing to hear and engage in those kind of conversations. And I'm actually really happy to see, at least as far as I'm concerned, that this new trailer, which I finally fucking have for you, there it is. Like, I feel like it addresses some of that. Like, I feel like the particle effects and the fog and the lighting looks really good. And as far as I'm concerned, the xenomorph animations look really nice too. Hold on, there we go. That the interaction they show with the shotgun, like trying to take down these aliens with just a shotgun, man. It's like shotguns are supposed to feel really powerful, right? But like the xenomorphs are supposed to feel really powerful too. And so there's a delicate balance you have to strike there. And like this just looks terrifying, right? Because it's like you have a powerful weapon and you're still struggling to take it down. This is going to be really intense in VR. I think they've kind of, based on the trailer alone, having not played it, it seems like they struck a balance here that was like really important.
I agree. There was one other thing that stood out with this trailer that I was like, ooh, and that was, of course, they show the face hugger and it comes out of the egg and then jumps onto the face. I'm honestly really looking forward to that freaking the hell out of me when the face hugger jumps on. Please God, and I imagine there will be, let there be some headset haptics when some headset rumble when that happens. that is going to be crazy, and you're not going to want to let that happen very often.
Yeah, no, this was a nice trailer to see. This was it was nice to get the release date, you know, kind of like putting a stamp on it. I know that during an interview, some people from Servios had kind of accidentally leaked that it was coming in December, and now that we have a final, you know, like an actual release date. This also went up on the store, and AJ, it's available for pre-order now. It is $39.99. I never want to judge anything based on its price, but I will tell you this. When Walking Dead Onslaught went up on the store for $30, I was really concerned. I was like, these guys are concerned about selling their game, right? They're competing with Saints and Sinners, which is a $40 game, and they've got to convince people to buy this thing. They don't. It felt like they didn't have confidence in Onslaught, and rightfully so. It wasn't that great. It wasn't that good of a game. I feel like the $40 price point, and this is a horrible way to exude confidence in your game, but the $40 price point tells me that maybe they are more confident in this than that.
I sure hope so. I mean, they've talked about it being trying to be like an authentic Alien experience, and that it's made by Aliens fans for Aliens fans. And yeah, this is a game that really, it's going to move the needle in one way or the other. If it's really good, it'll help move the needle forward a little bit. If it sucks, it's going to move the needle back. So it's really important that this game turns out to be really good. And yeah, it's with Servios's track record. I don't know. Have they talked about like how long of a game they expect this to be, or anything like that? Because I thought I've heard them say like 6 to 8 hours or something, but
I don't remember anything like that. I feel like 6 to 8 hours would have really stood out in my head, been like, uh-oh, right? Like, because, you know,
8 to 10, maybe it was something else.
Listen, I think the last game length number that I heard from a developer was Behemoth, right? They're saying like 12 plus, I think was that number, and I don't think we've got anything from Servios about this. Could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna. I'm definitely not going to say that that's for sure what I heard, but yeah, I'll be curious to see like how much content there is, how much depth there is, you know. And I hope it's really good, because this is a big IP. This is a really big chance for Servios to do some good here. And if they don't, then it's going to be really disappointing.
Yeah, I think we probably talked about this on Gamescast a couple weeks ago, but I don't think it's like the end of their studio or anything if it goes horribly wrong. But it does. I think this was their last chance to really have gamers give them any kind of leniency or trust at all anymore. Yeah. I think this is kind of their last chance for that. I think, you know, you get to a point and it's just like, what the fuck you been doing for the last 4 years, guys? Like, it's just, kind of their last chance for that. Speaking of what the fuck you've been doing for the last 4 years, guys, did you obviously heard about Archiact?
Yes, unfortunate.
Yeah, man. If anybody doesn't know, Archiact announced that they were shuttering the studio. They were closing. I believe it's going to be next week or in the next 2 weeks. If you're not familiar with Archiact, these are the guys and gals, presumably. I don't know anybody on the team personally, but these are the ones who brought us Evasion. They brought us Journey to Foundation most recently, and I missed. There's a big one.
They did like the Doom 3 port,
right?
Doom 3 VR edition. They helped produce some things. I think like Blaster of the Universe, along with Secret Location.
Yeah,
I think they went from like publisher a little bit of help to like a full-time developer, and then. But yeah, it's really, really unfortunate because they seemed really excited about, they had made a huge announcement not too long ago about our studio is completely changing. We're going to be like, we're going to focus on big AAA games and blah, blah, blah. And they released one and it sank them, which was Journey to Foundation, which, just unfortunately just turned out to be just kind of mediocre. I liked it, but Loved Freediver.
Freediver was the last game they put out that I was really like, oh, this is really cool, right? But then it was really short as well. It just needed to be, just need more substance. But
I loved Freediver. I would have loved a full length game of Freediver.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Because I think that was definitely one of their, if not their best game. But yeah, sad to see it. I mean, there's been, with the way the industry's going right now, it's like, it's everybody's struggling, and you either find tons of success or whatever, like, or you have to close up shop.
Alhambra, hold on a second. No, we're gonna back up. We're gonna get to you, Alhambra. I gotta back up even further. Did not realize how much I was missing here. Stupid Donkey with a $2 tip says, I'm back, like it or not. Welcome back, Stupid Donkey. How could we not like it that you're back? We're thrilled that you're here. Mako XL with a Canadian $5 tip says, number 3, lists aren't rules. It's a continuation of my last comment, bud. Oh, okay. Not making rules, which means I can now ignore them because we're moving on to something GameCat adjacent. Hey, he's here, AJ. With the $2 tip says, love you. We love you too.
I'm back.
Yeah, you don't get your when people don't change their name to GameCat, you don't get your shout out. It's sad. Alhambra D, we made it back to you. With the level 3 membership says, hey Brian, hey Jay, it's 2 trailers. One showcases the Xenos, the other showcases the weapons. Wait, hold on. Have I not seen the weapons trailer? I haven't.
I did not see the weapons trailer.
All right, it's called Weapons and Gear trailer. I'm downloading it right now.
Pulse rifle, tracker,
of course,
pistol.
Tracker. Yeah. What was the
shotgun?
What was the soldering iron thing that they showed in for like a brief second in the last trailer? What was that about? I want to see if they show more of that.
Oh, the welder. Maybe it was like a welding tool or something.
Yeah.
Probably to unlock closed doors or something.
Yeah, soldering iron is not the name of the tool. It was more of a blowtorch.
Definitely not. Yeah, it's like a torch.
Yeah, you can all go fuck yourself. Here it is. Okay, let's bring this shit up. I want to see this weapon trailer. Thank you, Alhambra, for pointing us in the right direction. Motion tracker for sure. There it is. Looking good, looking good. I like it. I have some good haptics in that. Revolver. Yep. Not excited about a revolver in an Alien game, but that's fine. Shotgun. Man, some of this looks really, really good on the flat screen. I'm hoping that it translates well into VR. Really want to see this running at like 90 native. Hopefully Sergio's been paying attention, man. A lot of shit's gone down since PSVR2 launched. Pulse rifle, you nailed it. I mean, obviously, but also still.
If there was one.
Right. Cool. Alhambra, thank you so much for that. There's just enough extra footage for me to care. But they didn't show the not soldering iron. I want to know what that's all about.
It's looking pretty fun and chaotic, though.
Yeah. Stupid Donkey with the $5 tip says, tip train fuckers. Oh.
It does remind me of kind of like, that style of Doom 3 where it does really seem to strike that perfect balance of action and horror shooter. It's good.
Jay Meow wrote nothing. He sent us a $1 tip and didn't write anything. Jay, what the fuck were you trying to say? Oh, I see him now in the chat. He thinks we should do PSVR theater, and have the popcorn fill up the screen. God damn, I was committed to stupid visual gags once upon a time. Mako XL Canadian $2 tip says, when does Behemoth come out again? So instead of rewinding and possibly missing even a second of the live stream, he's just asking questions to us, which is fine. That's what we're here for. He said Behemoth is November 14th. It's a big deal, man.
Yes.
It's a big deal. Skydance doesn't come out with games that often, and they certainly don't come out with new IPs very often, right? There's obviously there's some there's a conversation to be had about Chapter 2 Retribution and about how it felt like glorified DLC. Was it also an amazing? Did it look much, much better than Saints and Sinners 1 even did on PSVR 2? Yes. So it was a technical leap forward, and then added tons of new weapons and things to craft and content, but there was just no shaking the fact that it felt like something we had done before, even if it was great. A brand new IP in a new location with new mechanics, not something we're going to see very often from Skydance. So I'm looking forward to it.
I agree. Heisen Gaming says, please, flamethrower. I totally agree. There's a lack of flamethrower in this. I have a feeling that'll be in there somewhere though. I couldn't imagine they wouldn't have the flamethrower in this. A flamethrower.
What about a chainsaw? Any chance we're getting a chainsaw in an Alien game?
I don't think that'd be a good idea to use up against the xenomorph.
I mean, as like a last chance thing. Oh, Jamie, I was talking about the trailer, not PSVR Theater. My bad, Jay. I can't keep up with all you guys.
But yeah, Skydance also has never released a bad game. So the fact that this is another one of their big ambitious, upcoming titles, that's very exciting as well. Yeah, I don't want to see anything else on Behemoth. I don't want to see anything else on Behemoth or
Wanderer.
Yeah, Wander, Alien. Now that I've seen, I think I need to see a little bit more of Alien.
Take a little bit,
yeah. Only because it's Servios, and they don't have the best track record. But yeah, the other two, I know Wander is going to be amazing. Right. I'm pretty confident in Behemoth and Alien. It's like, yeah, I don't want to see too much more, but maybe just a little bit. I want to know a little bit more about it, not see much more on it.
Yeah. I would the only thing you said I would disagree with is that Skydance definitely has released a bad game because their name is plastered all over the Arashi remaster.
They didn't do Arashi. That was the same game. It was just ported.
It was somehow worse, a worse version of a PSVR 1 game.
They fixed it. It's just the same game now.
Yeah.
And it just makes for a really bad PSVR 2 game.
We got Grandpa's Barbecue or Game Cat with the Australian $5 tip says, so AJ, if title coming out on PC and PSVR 2, which system are you going to buy it on?
Oh, I was ready. I've been ready for this question for a long time now. Of course I'm going to play it on PSVR 2 if it's between both of them, because there's additional features on PSVR 2, like haptics, adaptive triggers, and headset rumble, eye tracking. Yeah, I like those immersive features very much. And also, again, all platforms have their advantages and disadvantages. I like PC for the games that I can't play on PSVR 2 or PS5, I should say. I don't know if I've played a single game or had interest in playing a single game on PC that's on PS5. I would say probably not.
Yeah, I mean, even we're hearing rumblings from different studios about the upcoming games where they're saying that the PSVR 2 versions are going to be the best versions of the game because of eye tracking, DFR. And so not only are you getting all the added features, that are tangible, that you can feel, haptics in the headset, adaptive triggers, you're getting all of that. But then you're also getting the stuff that isn't quite so tangible. You're getting the higher resolutions and possibly better frame rates. And so, saw Thwackett in the chat just mentioned Arcanage. Arcanage definitely seems like it's going to be look and play best on PSVR 2.
Dude, No Man's Sky is so much better on PSVR 2 than on PS5 than it is on PC. Yeah.
So, I agree with your decision, AJ.
Yeah, no, that's why I said the best experience you can have. At least, no, I'm sorry. My favorite VR experience, I will say, is definitely having a PSVR 2 with a PC and a PS5. That's just all that's the best experience you can have, in my opinion, if you're into gaming first and foremost.
Mako XL with a Canadian $5 tip sends an actual choo-choo train and writes chewy.
Choo-choo.
Chewy. I don't think trains make that noise specifically. Chewy. Chewy, 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 chewy. Thank you. Mako. J Mind, the Metal Game Panther, with the level 3 membership, said just played PSVR2 for the first time after LASIK, and my new 2015 eyesight made Arizona Sunshine 2 look amazing. It was definitely your eyesight that made it look amazing because it wasn't the game engine. We'll be talking more about that in a minute.
Your eyes are still healing a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. That's how I feel about like using, because I thank God I use those lenses now. Yeah. I can't believe I ever not used those lenses. Holy crap, what a difference maker that is.
Yep. I've said it a million times. I'll say it one more time for anyone new. My prescription is so slight that my doctor did not recommend I get glasses. And I said, give me the prescription anyway. And then I sent it to Real Optics and got some lenses made. And the difference was night and day. I am not somebody that needs glasses in real life, but I do have just a slight prescription that really makes everything so much better. So if you're looking at PSVR 2 and go, why is it still blurry? Why is it still blurry? I've got it in the sweet spot. Why isn't it? It's probably your fucking eyes. It's either your eyes or you've got a defective headset, right? And so
or the IPD, yeah. Check your IP, like the IPD slider. It can only be a couple different things because when it's all lined up, it looks amazing.
Yep. Agreed. Congrats on the successful LASIK, J-Mind.
Yeah.
Also
that too.
Also, don't hurt me. People who send me death threats when I say negative things about Vertigo games. They're a passionate group, man. People who like Vertigo games really like Vertigo games. The only death threats I've ever gotten have been from Vertigo games fans. So that's a studio I want to hang out with. Professor Lilith with the $5 tip says, hey, Game Cats. What up, Lilith? The Sunday multiplayer survey is open in Discord until noon Eastern tomorrow. Oh, shit. Well, maybe I'll hold off PSVR this week until noon Eastern tomorrow. Choose Demio, Among Us, or Walkabout Mini Golf. And then Professor Lilith is chanting Demio in the background.
Demio.
I mean,
I agree. I love that game.
I know. I think I've got to agree on it. For anybody who doesn't know, every Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, all the cats get together and they play some multiplayer games. They just use our Discord to link up. And these are games that you probably already have purchased, whether they were on sale or you bought them at launch, just haven't had time to play them. And you're like, man, I would love to play this game if only I had some friends to play with in VR that weren't screaming children. So make sure you come join our Discord and go to the WPG Sunday multiplayer channel and get your vote in, and then come play 2 p.m. Eastern. I'd also vote for Demio. Yep. Nailed it. Mako XL. Holy shit, dude. Mako doesn't say anything for months, and then he just lets it all out all at once. It's just like a flood of tips. What up, Mako, with the Canadian $5 tip says, really appreciate you guys for talking about my questions. See you on the next live stream, AJ. Whoa.
See you there, Mako XL.
That sounds nefarious. I'll see you on your next live stream. Grandpa's Barbecuer, Game Cat. I'm just gonna do one more of these, and then we'll get back to the tips in a little bit. With the level 1 membership says the correct answer, AJ. Well done, PSVR 2 for the win. Listen, when AJ's on without parole, he knows the right things to say. I have given him a script before the show began and said, these are the words you must say. These are the topics you cannot talk about. Because if anyone thinks it's a democracy over here, you're fucking wrong. Freedom of speech out the fucking window. Do not talk well about PCVR.
You cannot see the giant guillotine above my camera.
Yep. It's a big commitment for something that doesn't pay. Amazing.
No, but it's true though. It really is true. There are games that are definitely better because Sony has the advantage of developers have the advantage of just optimizing for one unified console, and so they can be very effective, especially when Sony had some bells and whistles and little tricks. There's stuff that even my $1,000 PC can't run as well as a $500 console.
One set of specs until later this year. Then it'll be 2 set of specs, but it'll be 2 because the Pro
set of specs.
The Pro is on its way. So just keep that in mind that's coming.
Sad that I don't even think Sony's announced that yet, right?
They haven't. Yeah, it's dude. So listen,
So
it might
ridiculous.
it might seem strange, it might seem ridiculous, but what I've been saying is that I don't think they're going to do a showcase or a state of play or whatever wherever they're going to announce it, wherever they're going to like say, oh, and it's available for pre-order now or something like that. I don't think they're going to do that until like October and then put it out in November because I don't think they want to cannibalize their own sales. They don't want people being like, oh, there's a better one coming out in a few months, and then I'll just won't buy a PS5, and then sales figures look shitty for the next few months. Right.
Yeah.
I think they announce it less than a month before they release it. It's the only way they do it. I'd have to check to see how they did it with the Pro, but that would be my way to do it. All right, man. Let's get into the headline of the show. Let's get into the VR game showcase presented by Jamie Feltham, formerly of Upload, and was it Fast Travel? Am I remembering correctly? He was part of Fast Travel.
Yeah, and I think he was on the Vive team as well.
Yep,
something.
that's right. And so he kicked off.
So he gets around,
I've heard that about Jamie. Yeah, you've been kind of hyping up the show for about a month or so. He came on Viewer Takeover and said, "Oh, we think there's going to be at least 4 PSVR2 games as part of the showcase." He says it's going to be at least 20 minutes long. All of those, all of the promises were, they ended up being accurate and they were delivered upon, and so that's good. We'll talk about our overall impressions of the show after we talk about each of the games that were shown.
It's going to be so hard, but okay.
If you want to do it the other way, we can do it. I just felt like we would end up screwing. It would be way more difficult the other way around.
You're right. Let's just do it the way you had intended.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know, man. We're going to ignore everything that's not PSVR 2, obviously. So let's kick it off with the first PSVR 2 game we saw, which was the second game revealed, and it was Arizona Sunshine 1 remake. Because
say nice things, Brian. Say nice things.
Listen, I'm used to that now.
Yeah. I saw this announcement and I was like, to be honest with you, like, I don't really care. Like, that's cool or whatever. But I actually did go back later and I did watch the entire showcase last night because I wanted to experience it and have a good opinion going into this. Looking at it, obviously it looks like they took their tools that they used to make Arizona Sunshine 2 and they applied that to the first game basically. And so it was nice. And I will say, like, it looked nice. It looked like a more nice, upgraded, polished version, almost like remade versus just remastered, and that's pretty cool. That should pose some advantages for it. And while I'm not like super interested in playing this, it's just nice to have a better version that's going to be available of it.
Yeah, I would say that that this was a game that a lot of people kept asking me, like, especially for the segment on PSVR this week, there's like, why isn't Arizona Sunshine 1 on PSVR 2 yet? Like, we've got it's not like Arizona Sunshine 2 is one of those sequels that actually replaces the first game in the series, Sirens on my end. It's a game that just tells a different story and has slightly different mechanics and just a different zombie shooter. And so like there are elements of the first game, dude, and I got to be honest, these elements of the first game, and especially with the DLC included in this, because it contains all the DLCs and updates, I think Arizona Sunshine 1 has always been the better game of the two. Right? It was like it was kind of crappy mechanically because it was early days of VR. It was a game that was developed for teleportation, right? And so it was very, very janky to do full locomotion in. Some of the inventory stuff was kind of a pain. It didn't feel great to play, but like just moment to moment story beats, the big moments in this game are much bigger than the big moments in Arizona 2. As far as I'm concerned, and there's more diversity in this game as far as level to level, like what you're seeing. And so this is, I think it's the better game, and this is a very interesting way to deliver it to PSVR 2 and other headsets by basically remaking the whole thing in the Arizona 2 engine.
Yeah, I think that I can definitely see a lot of people liking this more than the second one, even though the second one has, better polished mechanics, more cinematic moments, certain elements that are done better. It would not surprise me one bit for people to like this one more.
And I mean, it came with obviously a bunch of great news. Obviously I already said that it includes all the DLC and all the updates, but it also there's an upgrade path, which I was not expecting. When they fully remake a game, I believe they said it's a. Please correct me if I'm wrong, chat, because I don't want to screw this up. But I believe it's a $10 upgrade fee from
it is
the PSVR1 version.
It is, and that's always great to see.
Yeah.
That is awesome to see.
I mean, just, again, very unexpected. This isn't just a quick like remaster. This isn't just like up-resing and making it compatible with Sense controllers. There's a lot more going on here. So that's really, really nice to see.
Thwackett says $10 won me over.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to say no to that? If you're going to say no to that, please let me know in the chat. Like, I would love to know if that's.
Well, I would
still,
think
like,
that
not
the
right
only
for you.
reason they say no is because they don't have interest in playing it again. But
Yeah,
there's definitely nothing wrong with that price point or that upgrade path. No, people, it's on the contrary.
right.
People get angry when there's no upgrade path.
Right, and they're launching it at a better price than they had originally launched the first game. I think it was originally a $40 game. Now it's $30, and they're giving you a 10% discount if you don't own the game. So you're getting it for $27. I mean, listen, if this all goes according to plan, this is a great deal, and it's good. One of the things they showed in the trailer was just simply climbing a ladder. That's something you didn't do in Arizona 1. You walked up to a ladder and then you teleported to the top of it. Whether you were doing full locomotion or teleportation didn't matter. And it's like these are like the little things that like VR's changed over the years. We expect more. We expect more immersion. Expect more VRAF mechanics. And it's good to see Vertigo games like take the time and make that shit work. One complete edition, including all the DLC. Arizona Sunshine Remake includes the original DLC and updates, Dead Man DLC, the Damned DLC, Old Mine update, Trailer Park update, and Undead Valley update. AJ, the Old Mine, Trailer Park, and Undead Valley updates, that's got to be Horde mode stuff, right, or no?
Dead Mine.
What was it?
Yes.
Old Mine, Trailer Park, and Undead Valley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And yes.
Cool. Because I played through Dead Man DLC, thought it was crap, but the Damn DLC I thought was actually pretty good.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Now the question, AJ, is I could not stop laughing when I streamed this game with Gamertag because it was the first time I'd done the 2-player co-op, right? And so there we are, seeing each other for the first time in VR, and the animations were absolutely ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
They were so, you could tell again that these were not characters that were designed for full locomotion, and so the walking animations were the funniest fucking things we'd ever seen in our lives. I remember laughing so hard it hurt, right? And do you think they'll leave that shit in, or are they going for a nice, real polished?
When you and I played Arizona Sunshine 2 together, was it like that?
Everything was fine.
Because I would go by that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that janky. I'd go by whatever that was like, which it was still fun playing with you, but yeah, I don't think there was some funny stuff, but it wasn't nearly as like janky or as silly as that was.
Yeah.
Because that was just awful. That was so bad it was good.
Yeah, it would be nice if they had a button you could click to emulate the jankiness, even if it's not actually there. But anyway, listen, this was something that if you had asked me and said, "Is this something you think we need a remake of a game that that literally just came out last gen?" I'd be like, "No, of course not." But I think this is the proper way to bring it into PSVR2, proper way to re-release it. And hopefully it means that they just have respect for their IP, that they want to like really give it the love it deserves and update it properly. So
Kiznell in the chat points out that the PSVR 1 version is 75% off. Sounds like it's at $5 right now, according to Danny Pearson.
Right.
So
I've got. It's 75% off with Plus. Okay, so yeah, so they've dropped the price to $20, and then it's currently on sale for 75% off. So yeah, so it's $5. Good fucking shout, Kiznell.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, so if you want to buy,
you can buy it new for 15.
Exactly.
Shop smart.
Yeah. So basically, if you're interested in this game, go buy it on sale right now for PSVR 1. The concern, of course, is that there's been so many issues with upgrade paths where it's just like you're like, I want to play this game, but now it's going to take me a week because I haven't figured their shit out on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, email our PR team with a picture of your purchase, and we'll put it in a cereal box and mail it in, and you'll get it in 2 months.
Yeah, Perp Games definitely has some weird shit.
Love,
yeah. Take a picture.
Perp Games.
Right? Take a picture.
I didn't mention the name. He did. Okay, he mentioned their name.
Bro,
I did not.
If anything shows how committed a company is, it's to tackle these things one by one, having people send their photograph in, right, and then be like, and then just hand them a key for the PSVR2 version. Like that is some fucking commitment right there for a studio as small as Perp. That is mind-boggling that they found anyone that had the time to do that. So, I mean, listen, again, not something I would have said we needed, but now that it's been announced, I'm actually really excited for it. So I'm happy. AJ, the next one that pertained to us was Into the Radius. And the interesting thing about this is that, it was something that we already knew about because all the trophies had dropped. And so, the data
I saw you were kind of bummed about that. That didn't really make a difference to me. This is one of the more exciting games from the showcase that I saw. There was 2 big ones for me. I'm sure you can guess what the other one is. But no, this is a huge deal. I've heard tons of great things about this game. There's a lot of things I like about this genre, a little bit of sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, survival shooter. I think all of these things make for a really good combination in VR. On top of that, like I said, this game also has really good reviews. So this is a big deal to me. I'm very excited about this, and I thought this was a really awesome announcement as part of this showcase.
Yeah. Listen, we'll get more into this when we're done talking about the individual games, but I love a big reveal. I love when things don't get leaked. I love when the first time you see something is the first time you're supposed to see something, right? To have not known that this was coming. The day that the trophies dropped for Into the Radius was like fucking crazy exciting day. I was like, oh man, this is like one of the best, reviewed PC VR games out there. This is one of those games that everybody talks about, saying, oh man, I wish we had this on PSVR2. Then you find out that we're getting it in the weirdest, most roundabout way possible, right? It was still crazy exciting. So if all of that energy and excitement had been held back and then just been part of this showcase to double down. It's like, oh, Arizona Sunshine's getting a remake. No fucking way. Holy shit. Into the Radius is coming to PSVR 2. No way. And it's got a release date. No fucking way. I mean, it's just like these things compound on top of each other to like build the excitement. And so I actually felt bad for Jamie because he must have felt real bummed when those trophies dropped.
That's a huge announcement, and it got kind of messed up by that.
Yeah.
I don't think I wouldn't feel too bad though. I think people are still excited just by the fact that it's coming. And we got to see PSVR 2 footage of it, and it's looking really good.
Yeah. Have you played this at all?
No, I have not. I will definitely be playing this on PSVR 2. And they actually had a little bit more information in the PS blog, and they did confirm things like it taking advantage of the PlayStation VR2 features, like 90 native refresh rate or frame rate, and then eye-tracked foveated rendering, haptics. It sounds like haptics and adaptive triggers and things like that as well. So taking full advantage of the PSVR2 features. And that's where I'm going to be playing it.
I did not know about this article until just now, AJ.
That's why I'm a professional, man, all the way through and through.
I would have taken you seriously, but then you said professional. How am I supposed to take you seriously now?
You're not.
I'm not. Yeah, September 19th, you guys. This is really exciting. I've played the first 3 hours on Quest 3 native. What the fuck? Not. What do you say?
Quest 3 standalone.
Standalone? Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed. Like it looked pretty damn good for a Quest 3 game. And the gameplay was was great. I was actually really, really surprised how much I was going to get into it. It's one of those games that's so technical that's almost too technical for its own good. But it's like it was a game where it's like somehow it pulled me in and made me want to learn everything about it. And so now, now that we've got the official announcement, now that we know how close it is, I'm not going to pick up the Quest 3 version again. I will wait for this. Super excited. Dude, a game that's super deep mechanically. That's a single player first person shooter. Like, I just feel like this is there are genres that PSVR2 have touched on that have maybe even done really well, but I feel like this is doing something different enough where we really haven't seen this. This is something that we really need.
Apprentice Summerscales points something else out too. That's a good catch here. It says, hopefully people buy this port from Fast Travel Games. I don't know if they did the port, but they are publishing it. So this is another, I think this is another product of Fast Travel Games, who seem to have been on an absolute tear lately. They've been really impressing me. They took a while to get going, but they've just seemed to be like just nailing it game after game. There was like Vampire Masquerade Justice was really good. Yep. They published that Stellaris Ghost Signal. Ghost Signal, a Stellaris game. Yep. Which was really good. And then now they're publishing this. They're firing on all cylinders here, and I'm guessing, I wouldn't be surprised actually, since Jamie worked there for a little bit, if he had something to do with this, because he knows his stuff. He's a good gamer at heart, as well as VR enthusiast. But nonetheless, super exciting pick here, and yeah, this is a big one. It's supposed to be about 20 hours long as well.
Yeah, Jordan F in the chat says Into the Radius is a bit too slow paced of a survival game for me based on the playthroughs I've watched of it. It's not going to be for everyone. Like, this is just a game that is not going to be for everyone. Like, you're really gonna have to get into the minutia of like cleaning your weapon, and like just when reloading takes more than just like hitting a button, doing this, and then you're done. That's not going to be for everyone. But again, I was surprised how much I was into it. Yeah, man, I've got so much to talk about with Fast Travel Games that I'm a little bit overwhelmed. Azure Wrath in the chat says Mannequin disappeared for PSVR2. And then when asked about it, Fast Travel Games said it's currently development for Quest PC. We'll talk about other platforms later. So it's sort of like they rolled it back. There's an official Mannequin trailer. The cinematic reveal trailer for it was actually revealed on the PlayStation YouTube channel, right? And so you'd be like, well, obviously it was in development for PSVR2 at some point. I would be real nervous about that game, honestly. Like that seems like a game that is trying to, cash in on the social deduction genre that was like really popular 2 years ago. It's like I just don't see a player base for it.
Yeah, like things can change, and who knows? Maybe they see if there could be a bunch of different factors. They could see if people even buy it on the most popular headsets first, because if people don't even buy it there, then what's the point of releasing it on another platform?
Yeah, agreed. And so, so listen, we always say this: vote with your wallet. Let's wait to see if Into the Radius is good. We want to make sure that they got a proper port, that everything's running smoothly on PSVR2. And then once that's the case, once we know that it's a good game and worth buying, like, vote with your fucking dollars, you guys, because Into the Radius 2 is in early access on Steam right now. If this thing sells like gangbusters on PSVR2, like, it would be insane to think that Into the Radius 2 won't come, right? And which includes multiplayer. Sirens on my end. So best of both worlds. This is... Amping Hard says you can't watch a playthrough of Into the Radius to determine if it's for you. You just can't. The immersion in the world are everything, and it's so darn good.
You cannot use that for any VR game, like almost any VR game.
Yeah,
I mean, if I don't know. But I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. It trust me, it was a pleasant surprise.
You know how many games I looked at and I was like, I don't want to play this.
Most,
and then I play it and I'm like. Yeah, and then I play it and I'm like, oh shit, this is actually really good. That's happened so many times. That's literally the journey of a VR gamer.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Real quick here, let's tackle a couple more tips. We got one from Tornado. Thanks, Tornado. This is level 1 membership, says Alexa. Oh no. order more cat toys. That's pretty fucking good. I know who you are. You're not fooling me. I know you're not my cat. The Thundercat with the 10 quid says, appreciate you, dude, and your channel is the best. Seriously, thank you. And thanks also, Brian.
I saw that earlier. That made me laugh. and it made me laugh again. You're welcome, man. I do what I can. I give it all for you guys every day, in and out.
That's
and then
all
there's
for
Brian.
the nookie.
And then there's Brian over here.
Wow. Yep. I mean, I'm glad I didn't read tips ahead of time because I think I discovered the meaning of that as I read it. Scott, the PSVR Game Cat for Life with the level 1 membership said, I'd like to wish my mom and dad a great 50th anniversary.
Oh, happy 50th anniversary. How sweet.
Yeah, happy 50th anniversary. That's the most important thing. The second most important thing is, do they watch without parole? Like, right? Like, do they have a favorite channel that maybe we should go pass this along to so they can actually be seen? Happy 50th, man. That's great.
Sewing without parole.
Mako XL with the Canadian $100 tip.
Whoa!
Said yearly donation. Give some to AJ. It's Canadian dollars, AJ. So make sure when we figure this shit out, I'll have to, yeah. But thank you.
Thank you, Mako.
Very generous of you, Mako. Appreciate it. Is it?
Kind.
Wait, have I been
and also
mispronouncing
creating
it for
more
years?
work for Brian, which I also appreciate even more.
It's all right. I can figure out what 100 Canadian dollars is after taxes, after converting into American
it's like
dollars.
$15.
About $15. I owe you $5, AJ.
Okay.
Right. Well, it is your show, so maybe I'll give you the lion's share.
Yeah. There you go.
Aceville, the uncultured swine cat with the level 1 membership, says, for scaredy cats like me, Arizona Sunshine 1 is a great game to play. Yeah, how did you deal okay with the mine section? I remember people, especially because it was early days of VR, people freaking out in the mine section, being like, it's too dark, and then like a zombie sneaks up on them and they lose their shit. I'm sorry, a Fred sneaks up on them and they lose their shit. Interested in hearing that story from you, Aceville. All right.
Yeah, I don't think that's the first time I've heard that. I've heard that several times.
Yeah,
and one of those times before was from Aceville.
Yeah, listen, zombie shooters are the type of horror that I think most people can get behind, right? Because they tend not to be jump scary. They tend not to be just scary. It's just, especially when your enemies are slowly meandering around. It's pretty good. AJ, what was the next game on the VR game showcase that we care about?
The next game is Wrath Aeon of Ruin. Which is this is they kind of did a big build up. They kind of saved all the flat to VR stuff for last, which had a couple different announcements, several different announcements, and yeah, and because a lot of people, flat to VR studios they're very excited about the prospect of that, because a lot of people want to see a lot of flat games converted to VR, and there is a studio dedicated to this now. And yeah, the first game they showed was Wrath Aeon of Ruin, which looks to be kind of like a classic Doom inspired pixelated, violent, brutal shooter. Some refer to these as boomer shooters. And yeah, they are. It looks pretty good. I've heard mixed things on the game itself, but hopefully, the port is a good port, and maybe it even improves on the original game.
What was this being the first flat to VR game that was announced and the first one that was in the showcase, how did you feel about this? I mean, like we've sort of all been waiting with bated breath and saying, "Oh, what's their big first game gonna be?" Like this is, and people were obviously maybe overshooting a little bit and being like, "It's gonna be BioShock. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be Half-Life Alyx," right? Did you feel like this was like, for the lack of a better word, acceptable announcement as their first announcement of the show and of the first game they're bringing into VR?
Sure, I guess. I mean, it's not technically even their first announcement. It's not their biggest announcement of this show, but it's not even technically their first. And the thing is, I didn't have my expectations that high. This is a brand new studio that's been around only for a couple of months, or at least that we know about. And like, yeah, like we haven't even known about the studio for very long. And this is just them getting started. This is them getting their foot in the door, and getting some experience. And you got to start somewhere. Most people do not begin their careers at the top. Most regular people,
I was
most
head
regular
waiter.
people that don't have some sort of like rich, money, wealthy funding or something like that.
Yeah.
They have to work and earn their way to the top, and so yeah, this wasn't a disappointment to me, nor was I like super blown away by this. This seemed very par of the course, knowing that this team is new and knowing some of the members of these teams, like Dr. Beef and everything, did a lot of the Doom ports and things like that. So this is on par with kind of what I would expect. I've never heard of this game before, but it makes sense. Let's just say that. To me, it makes sense.
Well, I had honestly never heard of the game before either. And if we go over to the Steam store, we can get a little bit more information. Find out that this game came out legit earlier this year. So that is pretty awesome, pretty reassuring. Because honestly, dude, like there's a lot of games of this era, like the era it took inspiration of, 90s, as you said, boomer shooters. There's a lot of pushback for that term in the chat. I'm with you guys, but also like when everybody knows what it means, it's hard not to use the term.
I didn't know there was a lot of pushback on that. I thought that was just like
yeah. Well,
I didn't realize that was so offensive. I played those games. I'm not a boomer.
Well, that's the problem, is that like, unless my dad played these games when I was a kid,
yeah, it's not supposed to be factual. It's not supposed to be accurate. It's just but you get the gist.
Yeah. Anyway, but as a fan of these games when I was younger, I was actually surprised that this wasn't just an old game, that they were like, hey, with the current trend of, of boomer shooters, the current trend of like retro games in VR, retro style games, voxel art style in VR, like we're going to get on that. We're going to get on that. And we're going to do it with a game that actually came out in the 90s. I did not know this game came out earlier this year. When I saw the trailer initially during the VR showcase, I was like, damn, did they just really pull a game out of the 90s and go, cool, who remembers this? We're bringing it into VR. And so it's actually really interesting to see that, like, 3D Realms is a publisher of this, not a developer, but like the fact that they're involved means that, there's some old school credibility here. But it looks pretty good, man. Like especially in an era where like, the pushback against Compound was like, hey, this looks great, but I want a campaign. I don't want to do I don't want to do another roguelike, right? I want an actual campaign. And so this having what it says here on the screen, 3 unique hubs, 15 maps, explore a vast world shrouded in darkness, passionately crafted by the hands of long-time veterans of the Quake scene. Like this, I think this is delivering on something that a lot of people wanted, and this was the only way they were going to get it.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. So that was pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
I'll see. Yeah.
I saw somebody in the chat, and I apologize that I didn't catch your name. They said they were playing it safe with this. Flat to VR was playing it safe with this.
Yeah.
It's an interesting take. I don't think you're wrong. I think it was David, your favorite, that said it. I don't think you're wrong. I think they needed a few safe games. They needed to announce a few games that are definitely going to sell, right? And then they can have.
Well, this is also, if this is a good game, it'll also be a good addition to the library. Stuff, another compound, if you will.
Yeah. But dude, I will say that I don't think anyone was more surprised than me when found out that they were announcing not just one but multiple games during this showcase. And I think honestly, as far as I'm concerned, the next one is the one I'm most excited about. What is it, AJ?
Trombone Champion. Yeah, no, what's it called? Trombone Champ. Oh, I was actually right. Yeah, huge announcement here.
I had queued up The trailer. I had used you properly as a co-host to set it up so that I could.
It's not Trombone Champion.
Oh my god! Why do I even send you a run of show?
Flat out, man. It is flat out. No, this was the other huge announcement. This was from this showcase. And yeah, this is a big deal. Flat Out is a really popular. Kind of gets compared to like. Little bit of, I guess, visually you can kind of compare it a little bit to like aesthetically MotorStorm, but it actually plays more like Destruction Derby. But yeah, it's a really popular racing series, and this is really great to see because we need some more racing games in VR, and this is just a fun. You always talk about how you're not into like sim racing, that you want more arcade racing games. Here you go, Brian.
Yeah, no, listen, I feel like it's been a running theme for this entire show. I'm saying, hey, there's been genres or subgenres that we've been lacking on PSVR2. This is, I mean, racing in general is just lacking on PSVR2. We've got Galaxy Kart and Gran Turismo, and that is it. Yeah. Right. And so it's like we definitely needed something along these lines, something that that ventured further into the arcade racing scene. And I think this is something that when you have a team like Flat to VR who really is paying attention to what people want and what's missing in the ecosystem, this is what they're going to excel at. They're going to give people the things that they're looking for. And so this might also have been a very safe choice, but it's so funny to be like, oh, this is a brand new studio. They're probably not going to get the IPs that they're looking for, right? When you go to like somebody like EA and say, hey, can we have the Burnout license to make Burnout VR? Be like, probably not. But can we get Flat Out, something that came out on PlayStation 2? The PS2 games, these are the ones people have affinity for, that they have like nostalgia for. And so like, it's like, who the fuck remembers Flat Out other than the people who played them when they came out? And so this was probably a much easier IP to get their hands on. And if you're like me and you watched this trailer and said, oh my God, this looks fucking incredible, right? Like this arcade racing, all about like the destruction physics, smashing into other racers. Like this is great. However, where is the cockpit view? That was the concern. And thankfully, they've already alleviated all of our fears and said, hey, this is early in development. In fact, it says VR development started for, then it lists all the platforms. We're early in development. There will be a cockpit mode. It just wasn't ready to show for the showcase yet.
Trailer.
Yeah. Right. I was like, that's fucking awesome. Right. That makes me so happy.
This is a really good pick. And yeah, it's like, even, it's great for those that played Flat Out and are big fans of the series. But even for those that didn't, this is a great pick because you see this and you immediately go, you could know jack shit about Flat Out. You could never heard of it before. And you could go, okay, just looking at this looks fun. And that's the kind of stuff VR needs, man. That's what VR needs, is stuff that you can just look at it and be like, okay, this looks like a good time. This looks like a game I want to play.
Yep. Just to clarify for anybody who who's taking my word for it, Red Sea Gaming clarifies and said there was a recent release of Flat Out for PS4 and Xbox One. I didn't even fucking know that was a thing. And so
I didn't either.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is just a VR version of that, or if they're kind of like taking all the assets from different VR, different Flat Out releases and just kind of like shoving them together into a separate VR game. But whatever it is,
this is them on their way, on their journey, starting out all the way to eventually doing a MotorStorm or a something else.
Burnout.
Ridge
Racer.
Yeah. Ridge Racer. But yeah, it's a cool physics-driven racing game. I'm curious to see if it's going to have the mini games with it. I don't think that they've clarified whether or not it'll have that, because this game did have some mini games in it as well. So I will be looking forward to this. But yeah, this is going to be a good time, I think.
Yeah, I was watching this. With some of the cats on in Discord voice chat when the VR showcase was live. After failing my sleep test, I was suddenly home early. It's crazy. And yeah, that was the mini games or something that I think it was Stike brought it up and said how great those mini games were. So hopefully, yeah, they make it over to the VR version.
Oh, yeah, Twisted Metal next. Yes.
Twisted Metal next. Yeah, dude. I mean, like, yeah. So the infinite number of properties that these guys should have their hands on. But
Um,
and also, dude, they showed 4 games. Never in a million years would I think that they'd show 2 games or 3 games, never mind 4 games, right? And so I don't know if these guys like work fast or if they've just, just started development on some of these things. And so it won't be, are we going to see Flatout even next year? Like, are we going to see it in 2025? Like, how far out is this game? And so, but the thing is like, it seems like they're just hitting the ground and running as fast as they fucking can. And as far as I'm concerned, that's really cool. Because we don't see that with it. I mean, like we just said goodbye to Archiact. We hadn't seen a game from them in a while, right? Like it was years between each game. I know they're building from the ground up and everything, but like man, like that apparently wasn't doing the trick. So it's good to see. It's good to see these guys in just like amazing productivity right out the gate.
yeah, I think they're gonna be very successful.
Dude. I am probably alone on this. I know other people knew what this game was. I did not. The next game they announced from Flatout VR was Robo Quest. Did you know anything about this game prior to this trailer?
No.
Okay. Well, apparently it's pretty fucking popular. This is a PC game that came out in 2023. So again, not an old game. I'm sure to the dismay of many people who are, really invested in VR libraries, it is a roguelite first-person shooter. It, definitely has the cartoon art style, as you can clearly see. However, if you go over to Steam and look at the reviews, they are mind-bogglingly positive. Like, they are just through the roof saying, this is the best roguelite I've ever played, or I'm not into roguelites, but this game is phenomenal. So this might be one of those that like transcends the genre and transcends fans of the genre, get people invested in something they might not otherwise be invested in.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I like
not.
the art style.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to bring it up because as somebody who hasn't played this game prior, I definitely want to have some information here. Here we go. All right, let's bring this shit up, man. All right. Wait, what? Sorry, OBS is just being weird. All right, so it's got overwhelmingly positive recent reviews and all reviews, which is crazy. It's got thousands of reviews, 14,000. That's really reassuring. It says about this game, Robo Quest is a fast-paced first-person shooter with roguelite mechanics, playable in single-player or two-player co-op. Shoot and run your way through randomly generated environments, pick up upgrades along the way, and blast powerful big bad bosses you encounter. Upgrade your base camp and unlock persistent upgrades to customize your playstyle and dive further into each subsequent run. The first thing they mention here in the feature list is fast movement. That makes me really happy, AJ, because I think a lot of times when we get first-person shooters in VR, even Compound was a little on the slow side. They get concerned about the player, concerned that the movement speed is going to be too intense. And this looks like a game that obviously was made for the flat screen, and I feel like Flatout VR will not compromise that when bringing it over to PSVR2. They're going to say this is how the game was made. We don't want to compromise the gameplay in order to baby gamers.
Yeah. Don't compromise.
Don't compromise.
Most people playing the game, or most people that are going to buy this game, are the hardcore VR audience. And so if you babyfy it, you're going to just screw yourself.
Yep. The very first review here from Flamingo. That's pretty good. I like it. It says one of the best roguelites I've ever played. That was the very first thing they said. And then the next review starts off saying, genuinely and truly one of the best games I've ever played. Craziness. The next review.
Yeah. That's very surprising to hear, because when I look at the trailer, I know nothing about this game. When I look at the trailer, I'm like, like things about it,
We
but I
just played
don't.
Big Shots.
And Compound, and
Yeah.
like there wasn't anything other than like the kind of just charming art style to it. And I do like the pacing of it. There wasn't anything that like seemed like very mind blowing to me about this one.
Yeah. Gromsgrad said one of the best roguelike games I've ever played. Marzarello 2015 says, as a person who's not typically into roguelikes or roguelike games, this is a fantastic entry point. So this is seems like a great choice. Seems like a great choice. And as much as we're out here being like, oh man, wouldn't it be great to have BioShock in VR, right? Hey, Flat to VR, these are the games we want. Here's the fucking list, and it's real long. Like, it's nice that we're going to get little surprises like this along the way that like, hey, maybe you've never heard of this, but it's awesome. Fucking play it. I like that just as much as getting something that I desperately wanted is something that I didn't know I wanted.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're probably fans of the game as well.
You've got to figure, right?
This game's from what you said, like 2015?
No, it's 2023. It's legit like a year and a half old. Maybe not even.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not that old.
That is surprising.
Well, you've already kind of ruined it, so I guess you might as well introduce the next game.
Flatout.
Yeah, thank you. You're the best, AJ. Who could ask for a better co-host?
The final game they announced was Trombone Champ.
Trombone Champ Unflattened. And I got to say, man, I was shocked when I saw the gameplay footage of the flat screen version. By comparison, this is like a different game. The flat screen one, it plays flat. Notes go across the screen on a 2D plane. This one, you're holding the trombone in your hands. The notes are coming at you. It looks like they've fucking built this from scratch, man. This does not seem like the type of game I would have expected from Flat to VR. I expect Flat to VR to be like, hey, we didn't create anything ourselves. Like we just, took the game that you already made and made it VRAF. And it looks like they had to possibly build this one up from the ground up.
Yeah, the trailer kind of made me laugh a little bit because it starts out and you think it's going to be some like fantasy, some epic fantasy game,
Yeah.
and then it's like you must toot, and then it picks up a trombone and starts playing it. But other than that, I was just kind of like, why? Like, why is this a thing? And that part confuses me. I don't know. I'm sure they have something to gain out of this. They gain a little experience. They get to tinker and break this down into another VR game. Maybe they build some relationships that are important. So they have stuff to gain out of this. But from a business perspective, maybe I'm missing something. But I was like, this is kind of seems like a waste of time and money and effort from a business perspective alone. Unless there's something I'm missing here.
Well, I think the thing we're missing is maybe it just didn't require all that much work, right? Like they did have to build some stuff from the ground up. However, you're holding a trombone that can obviously be customized, but you're standing on a stage and you're just hitting notes as they come at you. It's a rhythm game, so maybe it didn't require that much work. I could be wrong. Please again correct me, everybody, if I am wrong. But this one was the only one with a release window, and I think it said coming fall 2024. And so maybe this is when them to kind of like get out of the gate, get the ball rolling, get some money rolling in, and as we work on these much bigger titles. And I think there's something to this game. A lot of people really like it. I think when it first got announced, it was kind of one of those games that went viral because streamers would play it and everybody just laughed and this is crazy. I can't believe this is a game type thing. And so if they can make it go viral again in VR, then they could have a hit on their hands, even if it seems like more of a casual game or a smaller game than we were expecting. I think this sort of satisfies if they've got all these boxes they want to check, be like, hey, we want to satisfy this audience and this audience and this audience and this audience. The audience that they're checking with this game could be pretty big.
Yeah, it looks like it's It looks like it's well designed and everything. And a lot of the chat's pointing out that, it's nice to have something different. And I'm like, sure. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. And a lot of people are saying this was a really popular PC game, like, when a Steam game. Okay, I understand that, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this one.
I'm checking out the Steam listing. Again, very positive recent reviews, overwhelmingly positive all reviews. Trombone Champ plays a lot like a one-dimensional OSU. Why don't I know what that is? But that's not a bad thing. The game was quite fun to play. It took 6 hours for me to become the Trombone Champ. Interesting. Oh, the next review by Fuzz, this is great. It says, listen up, you toots and turds. I love it already. How can I subscribe to you, Fuzz? You should get this game. There's a lot of love put into it. First, you will become an expert about trombones, impressing all of your friends with trombone facts. Second, fun rhythm game. Third, monkey? Monke? I don't know. Anyway, again, people are enjoying it. So I am.
Yeah, enjoy what you like.
Hey,
more power to you.
Right. And maybe, and who knows, man? Maybe it was a cheap license, a cheap IP for them to get. So,
yeah,
this could go very, very well for them. People like obscure, weird indie things.
Oh yeah, David, your favorite says people love meme games. That does seem kind of like what this is.
It is. Yep.
I just don't know. I just don't know if that's going to strike with a VR audience, but I don't know. Worth a shot.
Yeah, this is a streamer's fucking best friend. Like when we goof off and do silly things, especially in VR. This is I don't love streaming games, but like I can totally see you and Miles streaming this and just like laughing hysterically with the chat the whole time. I think this could be a lot of fun.
Beat Saber, but toot. I love it because now
Toot Saber. I'm going to say it until you laugh. Toot Saber. Thank you. Woo! That was going to be a long night. We got Mako XO with Canadian $5 tip in the chat. Says, AJ, is PC/PSVR2 taking your interest away from native PSVR2? Just be honest and say yes.
I mean, at the moment, yeah. Until something exciting releases for PSVR 2, then no.
Yeah. And dude, that's fair. Like, that's totally fair to say. I mean, like, listen, I don't want to get into it, right? Because I know it'll be a rabbit hole that I'm going to go down and is going to be insane to get out of, right? But being able to use the Unreal Engine injector, UEVR, and just there'd be a list of games that I'm like, wait, I got to try this one. Now I got to try this one. Now I got to try this one. Now I got to try this one. It's like it's sort of like Christmas morning, right? That lasts a year. So like if anyone picks up the PC adapter and then gets into the modding community or gets to check out all these modded games or games that could be modded for VR, I don't know what the correct expression is, but it's like it's a wealth of riches, man, right? For people like us who've been sitting around going, where's the next AAA game? Where's the next single A game? Well, you've got them all at your fucking disposal now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the reality is that there's some games that I enjoy troubleshooting and tinkering with for like an hour. I enjoy doing that more than actually playing some other games that are being released. There's just a lot of games I just don't care for that are getting released, and so I'm gonna wait for the ones that I'm interested in to come out. But am I all the way 100%? PC or PS5? No. I like both a lot, and I will continue to enjoy both a lot.
Yep. Macho says we have to stop discriminating here. We're fine. Listen, I feel like that's the great thing, right? Like I've always stuck to my guns and always stuck with PSVR 1 and 2. It's because I'm got my own little corner of the internet over here, right? For people who are interested in this like little niche thing that interests us. But it is so great that like for everybody that's here that like loves what we're doing, there's like a million other places to get this other information from. Like what else can we be playing? And I think it's great, right? I don't think there's any discriminating going on, being like, oh man, this we shouldn't, this is wrong. I think it's great for anybody who's interested in it, and I think I'd be way more interested in it if I didn't have this constant influx of PSVR2 games to be covering.
Yeah, I said this a couple months back. I'm just following what I'm interested in the most, and that's all it is. I think if any doing YouTube for any other reason other than like just money or whatever business, which I would not do. Well, I mean,
listen, it's my full-time job and I do it for a living. But it's not like
you're kind of a little bit different. You got a little bit of unique position,
I mean, maybe yes, maybe no. But like the fact is like, it's the worst paying job I've ever had, AJ. It's so like, people have definitely come around and been like, well, you need PSVR2 to succeed because this is your whole channel. I was like, yeah, but it's an 80-hour work week. It's,
you definitely don't need PSVR2 to be successful in life. I can, everybody knows that.
Yeah. Well,
but no, all I was saying was that like I've just trying to keep a focus on things that excite me, that I care about, and like not everyone's gonna agree, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just I'm not gonna play every Infinite Inside that comes out anymore. That game broke me.
I will.
I would rather troubleshoot my PC than play Infinite Inside.
Yeah. Looper was asking in the chat, wasn't Arcade Paradise released since the last Gamescast? Was it really? Did you play Arcade Paradise, AJ?
I have not yet.
Okay, well then next
I do want to. I am interested in that though, and I did play a little bit of Compound, which we meant to talk about last thing, but
we'd already talked about it. I think the week before with Miles and Wes. So yeah, I think when we didn't talk about it, it wasn't like a big deal last week.
But yeah, I do look forward to playing that. Both of those. But yeah.
Oh, you know what? I do want to ask you a question about Compound, because you and I had talked a little bit on Discord voice chat, and I was telling you that hard was really hard, and maybe easy and medium were a little too easy. And you were like adamant that you were like, well, I don't want to like have a bad first impression of the game if it's going to be too easy. I'm going to go right in and play on hard.
So you told me also that you were that it makes you.
Nope.
I think. You said that it defaults?
It defaults to easy, or it defaulted to easy for me. And so
I interpreted that as it makes you. And then so I went up to the table, and then like I was it took me a minute to figure it out, but then I realized, oh, you just, what was it, like a pie or something that you
think
eat?
Easy as pie. No, then the steak was medium.
Okay.
And then it was hard booze, hard alcohol. It was like a vodka bottle for the hard.
Yes, I love that. And yeah, so I ate the steak to put it on like the normal mode or whatever. And I just played it on normal, and it was like normal. It was challenging. It was perfect. It wasn't too hard. It wasn't too easy. It was medium. Okay. Just like how I like my steaks.
Like mine a little medium rare. If there's not a little blood, then I'm not interested.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't need it to still be living.
Moo.
Depends on the steak, really. Depends on the steak and from where, but typically medium.
I have no idea who's supposed to be on the next episode of Gamescast. I don't think you are, because you were on this one and the last one. I think for every third week people get off, so that would suck. So I don't know. Well, next time you're on, we'll talk about Arcade Paradise and more about Compound. Alejandro D, 2Y Underground Stranger Game Cat with the $5 tip says, off topic. Is it kill the cat or cue the cat? Whichever it is, AJ, please do it tonight. It's been a while, which means Bad Robo, you can fucking unsubscribe now, because he promised if I did it'd been a while one more time, he was fucking out of here.
No, not Bad Robo.
We've had better Robos.
Good Robos? Oh.
Yeah, adequate Robos.
Well, it's definitely cue the cat, and we can cue the cat tonight.
Yep. All right. Thank you for the donation. And I think we got two more. Mako XL with the Canadian $2 tip says, say Trombone Champion again. What?
Trombone Champ.
Trombone Champion. Okay. Well, I hope that worked for you. Prozac 380 with the $2 tip says Trombone Champ should have been called Tromboner. Yep, that's about the level of sophistication my humor is at. So thank you for that, Prozac.
You hearted it.
I did. I heard all of them, man. I'm just thrilled that people are here and listening. I love you guys so much. But okay, so that was the end of the Flat to VR segment on the VR Games Showcase. But that was not the end of the VR Games Showcase. I don't believe.
Was it?
There's still one more game that was shown off, and it was called Vendetta Forever. The next big game from...
It's a little out of order, but that's okay.
Did I screw it up? Is that not the order they were announcing? Okay.
Yeah, it did end with Flat to VR, but that's okay.
Perfect. All right, I don't know where I got this list from then. Bro, Vendetta Forever, coming from Meat Space Interactive, being published by Endreams. Looking pretty low poly. Looking a little Tiger Blade in gameplay. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Meh. I like the art style a little bit, but I was just kind of like, like I could see it looks kind of like super hot. It looks kind of okay. My first thought was like, oh god, not one of these again. And then you look a little closer and you're like, okay, this is a little bit more stylized than it is just low poly.
Yeah, it kind of
like,
looks like Killer
cheap.
7, right? Killer 7 from the PS2 era. Yeah.
But yeah, it looks a little bit more stylized. It looks a little bit like super hot, and like you said, there are a couple other things I noticed in here. Doesn't necessarily look like my type of game, but sure, it looks like a shooter.
Yeah, they're saying something like 60 levels, 50 weapons, that kind of thing. Online leaderboards for getting through the levels fast and accuracy, all that. I think there's an audience for it. I don't think I'm the audience. I actually didn't like Tiger Blade very much. I just didn't enjoy the movement system, and just never felt the need to go fast. Right? It was like the whole thing was about, okay, teleport to here, now slice, now teleport to the next spot and grapple, teleport to the next spot and shoot somebody. I was just like, okay, like just not what I'm looking for when I jump into VR, and as somebody who really likes light gun shooters, I was like, oh, maybe this is going to scratch that itch, but it just didn't. So I was actually kind of sad to see the Endreams logo and then have it be followed up with this. And obviously we've already covered it, but just to be clear, this is not being developed by Endreams. And so, and neither was, we just had the Frenzies reveal, and that was Nearlight, which was owned by Endreams now, but Nearlight Studio is the Shooty Fruity team. So, in other words, we have no fucking idea what Endream Studio proper or Studio Elevation are working on. That's driving me crazy.
That's not true, because Endreams had another game that was missing from our list, and that was Frenzies.
Yeah, but they didn't even put the PSVR2 logo at the end of it, so fuck them. Right, because it was I think it was a trailer for early access or the beta test or whatever the hell it was. Am I wrong about that? Did I get it wrong?
I thought there was a PlayStation logo, but I have no idea. I know it's coming to PlayStation VR2. So.
It is definitely coming to PSVR2. I think this is not the correct trailer, by the way. This was the reveal trailer. But I think the newest one was just about the Quest early access release or whatever. Listen, so
you might be confusing it with Fract, which was announced for Quest and was not announced for PSVR 2.
Fract was 100% announced for Quest, which I'm irritated about because it's like, hey, like they're bringing it to a brand new audience that haven't gotten to play it yet. But listen, like when they were like, oh, we just like to move on to the next game. Like we don't go back. We always move forward. It's like, okay, well now you're going back, but like for a different audience. So we could definitely use some early Endreams games, including like Phantom Covert Ops, which was a really fun Metal Gear kayak game. Get Fracked over on PSVR 2. All these games would be great. Okay. You say okay?
Frenzies did not have a PSVR 2 logo, so I'm going to stop looking at the chat for a little bit.
Dude, I've heard really good things. I was talking to somebody who's in the alpha or is it beta? I think it's the alpha right now. They were talking about different game modes, saying how much fun it was, and one of them that really intrigued me is red light, green light, where it's like all the lights in the stadium are either red or green, and if you shoot when the lights are red, you die. And so I just have like these great like imaginary scenarios going on in my head where if you're running around, you're about to shoot somebody and the light turned red and you're like, and now you're like face to face with somebody and you're like, right? Do you like run off or do you just wait and try to be the first one to pull the trigger when the light turns green? I think these are the kind of scenarios that sound really fun and are a little bit different than the things I've played before.
Is this the trailer from the show?
This is the reveal trailer.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to go track down a trailer. It doesn't even have a PSVR2 logo in it.
Because this did have a PSVR2 logo, so
yeah,
that's why I was asking.
Big time. Yeah, the cats have us covered.
I like the style of this. I just not really into PvP shooters, but I think it looks. I love the art style of it. I think End Dreams has some really, really wonderful artists.
Yeah, it reminds me in kind of like an inverse way. It reminds me of Synapse in a strange way, right? Because Synapse was all black and white, and then it had like these blazing neon like streaks of color, and then they were like, oh, that looks really good. Let's make a whole game that looks like the blazing streaks of color, like as the game. I don't know, man. I don't know if it turns out to be fun. I think there's going to be a lot of fun in the customization here, because it's kind of the game you get invested in, like want to make your character look cool and have all the unlocks. We'll see. I just hope it has a longer lifespan than something like Solaris Off-World Combat, which didn't have a lifespan. That thing was fucking dead the second it came out.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll see.
Looks fun though.
Yeah, it was fine. Well, yeah. I saw somebody in the chat say something that I was interested in. Where is it? God damn it. Here it is. Mark Poppin Pringlesleaf says Phantom Covert Ops won't appear on PSVR 2 as it's owned by Oculus. I emailed the devs and they told me that. Yeah. I mean, Vader Immortal was owned by Oculus too, so that tells you that deals can be made. That's all I'll say about that. Not that I have inside information. I didn't mean that to be like this cryptic. That's all I'll say about that because I've got secrets. No, I don't fucking know shit. So that was it, right? Did we cover all the games that we're talking about in the showcase?
Yep, I believe so.
Awesome. What did you think of it, AJ? Was it overhyped? Did it deliver on the promises? Where are you at with this thing?
Okay. I thought that they did a really good job of putting the show together, keeping it pretty interesting. I thought the most exciting announcements were the things that got me the most excited was Into the Radius and Flatout. Those two I am very, very much looking forward to. Overall, final thoughts though, besides that, I feel like this kind of highlighted it to me. This kind of highlighted a little bit of an issue, perhaps though, going on with VR right now. And while it's awesome that there's some great looking games, I was actually like really disappointed that there were so many shooters, and so like within the first 5 minutes they were all shooters. There was 2 zombie games. And so like, to me, there was in the back of my head a little bit of a problem of like, okay, this is a problem for VR right now. If people can't figure out how to make anything other than shooters, and when they do not make it look interesting, like there needs to be a little bit more variety right now. Because right now it just feels like there's way too many shooters and not enough creative exciting things. Flatout looked great. Hell, even the the Alice in Wonderland thing, I was like, that actually looks kind of okay, even though it's a puzzle game. I wouldn't want to play it. I like the way it looked. And then some of the other stuff that wasn't a shooter was like the trombone game, which I was like, I don't really care about this.
But they delivered something different, and you were like, pass.
Yeah, because I'm not looking for something different just because it's different. That doesn't mean it's good. I'm looking for something different and exciting and innovative and fun and something that gets me excited that's different. And so yeah, to me, while I thought they did a great job with the showcase, I thought there were some exciting games. To me, it also exposed a little bit of an issue going on with the VR scene right now, which is like there's way too many fucking shooters.
It was Jamie Feltham's first independent show, right? Separate from Upload VR showcases, and he used to be a big part of those, organizing those, and I think maybe even editing them. And so, for the first time, somebody going out and doing something on their own and actually getting games as big as these for the showcase, I think he did pretty good. Like I don't think I expected it to be a 10 out of 10 out of the gate. And honestly, I was a little bit concerned that we were going to see games we already knew about. I thought we were going to see more about Aliens. I thought we were going to see more about Metro. I thought we were going to see maybe something about like Phasmophobia, right? Like games that are coming that we already knew about. I didn't think there were going to be like many new announcements. So I think he actually did pretty good as far as that's concerned. And yeah, I think there is a conversation to be had about what the fuck does AAA mean in VR. I stand by the fact that like if it's not a AAA flat screen game, it's certainly not a AAA VR game, right? We got to stop using terms that are different for depending on which platform it's on. These are not AAA games, right? Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village, Gran Turismo, these are AAA games. We can't just redefine the terms and say, well, for VR, they're AAA. That just means VR games don't get, that just means that VR platforms don't get a lot of AAA games. That's what that means. So I think we need to stop using terms that are inaccurate. And so there was, I feel like a promise, and I see it here in the chat, more of a promise.
Misleading.
Yeah, Shades of Grey Matter said that, you know, this was just not a AAA showcase. And that's fine, but we need to make sure it's not marketed as one. Because then you're setting people up for disappointment. Other than that, I was really pleasantly surprised, man. Like I was intrigued and knowing that it wasn't going to be super long, that it was, you know, I think he had said it was going to be 20 minutes. I think it ended up being 30. He said that there was going to be 4 PSVR 2 games minimum. And I think there ended up being, what's on our list? 6, 7? I don't even fucking know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. So it's great. It's a great number. There were 6 PlayStation VR 2 games. I to an extent, I think it delivered on all the promises that they made. So I had a really good time. I will say that though, if Into the Radius hadn't already been leaked, it would have been amazing. Been like, this is fucking great. So yeah, it was good times. Good times. I'm excited to see what Jamie does next. Because this will not be the only VR game showcase he does. It sounds like it's going to be a regular thing, and I'm very interested to see, like, you know, now that it's sort of caught on and people are interested in what he's doing, who's going to sign on to be part of the next one? You know, what new games will be announced there?
Well, that's becoming the new kind of thing, is that people are trying to create the best showcase now. That's the kind of newest obsession that people have, and it's kind of a dangerous tightrope to walk, because you can't always deliver a showcase. They're not always going to be like super special, super worth your time, as you saw with like the Game Awards running into now. But that's, it's definitely trying to kind of capitalize on that same kind of hype, you know, whatever. And again, it's like not bad. Like I think that I like things to look forward to. I like having things to look forward to and to be excited about. I am all about that. So like I'm definitely supportive of this kind of thing. I think VR, especially right now, needs some kind of thing to be excited for, and this is really helpful to developers. You're speaking to your direct audience here with a showcase like this. So I think it's good. I think it's good overall. But yeah, like I said, my biggest kind of gripe or red flag that I saw with this was that it was just so many games were this exact same thing. And that's more of a VR developer problem than it is a, it's a problem to me. It's problematic.
It's a VR problem, right?
Yeah.
It's not even like a development problem. It's a
Right.
user based problem. When the best selling games on any platform are first person shooters, then you've got to like I would be terrified to make a VR game right now because I would want to do something really creative, really artistic, and then it wouldn't fucking sell, right? And like try to like do something new, and then no one buys it, and then your company's out of business. And so you
Yep.
know we know how thin some of these margins are with some of these studios. You know, I talked to Cat to Shields at PAX East, who reps Shell Games, and Cat was very transparent, being like, "Hey, we're just trying to fucking keep our doors open, man. You know, like
Yep.
we, you
Well,
know,
and that's the other thing is that there is more variety that's coming to the platform. I mean, like we just talked about Behemoth, that's like a, action fantasy game. There's Arcanage, which is like a sci-fi RPG. I think I think that's what it's being kind of touted as.
I mean, we'll see how much RPG
Maybe
there
it's
is once we get our hands on it.
a light RPG, maybe action adventure, light RPG elements kind of thing. Aliens, horror, shooter,
Yeah.
I know there's a couple I'm leaving out. So there's some decent variety, but as far as the showcase goes, I think it was just a little oversaturated with that.
Listen, when it comes to comparing this to like the other options we've got, which is essentially Upload VR's showcases, which are super heavy on the Quest content and super
Yeah.
heavy into the very small indie teams, which again, nothing wrong with, but when you're showing game after game after game after game in a very long showcase that all kind of look the same, like this I thought was refreshing. This was like, okay, these are solid titles by like bigger studios, and these are things that we're going to get excited about. Roar McRip Helmet said exactly what I said. 7 out of 10, much better than all the boring MR games we'd get otherwise. Prozac says, wasn't Silent Slayer also supposed to be coming to PSVR 2? To my knowledge, they've never announced that.
No, yeah, they never said that. We just talked about it because we played it at PAX East.
Right. And as a Shell game, I think that Shell Games is currently just kind of taking a wait and see approach on PSVR 2. I don't know this for sure. That was not something Kat and I talked about. But it seemed like they're like, hey, we'll put out until you fall. Make people buy it again, and then, but where's I Expect You to Die 3? Where's I Expect You to Die 1 and 2? Where's Silent Slayer? So I do think some of these studios are taking a wait and see approach, making sure that there's a user base there, which hopefully with the recent sale that PSVR 2 had with the PC VR adapter that's getting a lot more people talking about the headset, I think some of these developers who were playing the waiting game might be back on board. I think they'd be crazy not to be. So who in the chat? Somebody in the chat asked about, and I apologize, I wasn't copying and pasting. They asked about Undead Citadel. If there's any updates on it, they posted on their Discord like within the last week saying expect a announcement soon with a PSVR 2 release date. So Undead Citadel, 'tis not dead, still coming, AJ, and I know you're excited for it. You're so excited for Undead Citadel. You're so excited, AJ. Hi. Are you not? You're not excited about it? Okay, let's move on. JPEG Q with the $2 tip says, "Is Stride Fates worth buying yet?" No, fuck that game. Good talk. Macho, the real estate procrastination gameplay. Yeah, listen. Stride Fates looks better now. I was actually surprised after the graphical update. Like it looks good. It looks exactly how you'd want Stride Fates to look in the headset. It still doesn't play very good. That gameplay is not great. The first hour was fun, and then I lost all interest. The game was crazy boring. Macho, the real estate procrastination game kit with the $5 tip said, "Did we not get an official release date or anything on GOT?" Oh, Ghost of Tabor.
Oh.
Did I miss something? CWS is pissing me off how they're treating PSVR 2. What? Oh, so wait, what do you mean? Combat Waffle is bringing over or participating in bringing over a Ghost of Tabor to PSVR 2. That is a good thing. You do not want them releasing the game until it's ready. Right? That game is fucking crazy janky on some platforms that shall not be named. Like we want the ultimate version. people taking their time getting games right before releasing them should not be pissing you off, Macho. We've gotten games that have been released before they've been ready, and they have not been good. It has been very frustrating. Switchback comes to mind. It was just a horrible release. Everybody was tired and frustrated. These things don't end well. Macho says, "Go ahead and defend Brian." It's like just saying, man. You get one or the other. You get a game that's either done when it comes out, or you get a game that's half baked and is going to take 3 months of patches to get fixed. And I would much rather wait for the game to be done. Don't let them piss you off, man. We should be happy when developers are supporting PSVR2. Sirens on my end. Lots of sirens on my end. I was saying something. You distracted me. All right. Anyway. Oh, hold on. Shades of Grey Matter says, I guess Macho is upset because Combat Waffles showed off 2 games and didn't announce PSVR 2 release date for... Okay, yeah.
I thought I remember them saying Combat Waffle during the showcase.
Yes, Silent North is their zombie game, and what the fuck is the other one? I always want to call it Rust, but it's not, obviously. It's a one-word title. These are games that they've been showing off. Both of them are way too early in development. They're both way too early in development. They should not be shown off right now, but you know, they want. I think they want to capitalize on the Ghost of Tabor hype and say, "Hey, the same studio, we're bringing these other games out, so pay attention to them." Both of these games were announced previously, and don't forget that, like, you know, Combat Waffle isn't handling the port of Ghost of Tabor to PSVR 2, and so these games are not getting in the way of them bringing Ghost of Tabor to PSVR 2. That is being handled by a different studio. And I understand we've all been waiting for the game for a long time, so I get your frustration, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay. AJ.
Brian.
You want to play a game?
Oh, God. Do I ever?
Do you ever? Awesome. Cool. Then go play Max Mustard for me and get a review on my desk by morning.
Oh, I would love to.
Me too.
Know why? Because it's not a shooter.
And it's been a while since we had a nice third-person platformer.
No, I love shooters. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Dude, I can't wait to play Max Mustard. I'm very much looking forward to that game.
Yeah, yeah. Even though I'm not crazy about the character or the title of the game, it doesn't matter. That's not the part that matters the most. It's looking really. I'm pretty excited about that one.
Grim, thank you, Alhambra. Grim and Rypop, but man, everybody, but and Looper, everybody knows the name of the game but me. Grim, sorry. All right, AJ, we're gonna put 5 minutes up on the clock on the counter the way that Jeremy likes it, and you've got 5 minutes and an infinite number of yes or no questions to figure out what
I remember this time.
what PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 game, fat chance in hell that it's going to be a PSVR 2 game, AJ, I'm thinking of today. Everybody in the chat, help him out. I'm not going to make it easy because he doesn't make it easy on me.
Oh, man. Come on, man. My last one was easy.
I'm playing this. We're playing on Viagra hard mode. You ready for this shit?
Oh, my goodness.
On your mark. Get this. Go.
Is it on PSVR 2?
No way. Oh, wait. Let me answer like you. It could be on PSVR 2. But
is it from the first year of PSVR 1?
No, I can slow you down. Don't you worry. Yes, it is. Oh, wait. That's an excellent question. I believe so.
Okay. So it's around the first year at the very least.
I can tell you right now, it is. Yes, it was.
Is it a AAA game?
No.
Is it a popular IP?
No. And now I don't know if it came out in the first year.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely within the
first... Is it multiplayer?
I'm just going to tell you this. Within the first 2 years.
Okay.
No multiplayer, no.
Is it a puzzle game?
No.
Is it a shooter?
Nope.
Is it a platformer?
It's got platforming.
Is it a third-person platformer? Does it have third-person elements?
No.
It's got platforming in it. Does it have flat screen mode?
Yes.
It has a flat screen mode.
This is where the confusion came from, because the flat screen version came out earlier.
Oh, okay. Is it a horror game?
No.
Is it a good game?
The PSVR version of this game is not what I would call a good game. No.
Is it a crap game?
Yeah. The PSVR version of this game is what I would call a crap game.
Does it have melee combat?
No.
But it's got a little bit of platforming, you said. And is it first person?
Yes.
Is there full locomotion?
No. Not in the PSVR version.
Is it an artistic game?
What'd you call me?
Is it an artistic game?
No. I wouldn't say artistic.
Is there archery in it?
No.
Is there teleportation?
Yes.
Is
Sadly.
this going to be like one of those that Fate game?
Oh, I hope so. I want to. Can we get Fate on PSVR 2? Fates?
I don't think I never played that. I have it though.
It was good. I mean, it wasn't good, but it was all right.
I don't know if that's this or not though.
No,
because I feel like that's something you would choose. You went something really ridiculous, didn't you? You said it's not a puzzle game. Any rhythm game elements in this?
Nope.
Guys, first 2 years. Is it a sports game?
Nope.
Okay, so it's got a flat screen mode, and it has. You said it's not a puzzle game?
No, I mean maybe some puzzle
Is it
elements.
problem solving?
No.
Is this game? And you said it's first person?
Yep.
Shit, I was thinking like something like Salaryman Escape or something.
Wow, that is fucking deep cut.
Yeah, I was really using a lot of thought there. That used up all my brain power there. Is it made by?
Nope.
Is it made by? Shit balls. Is there a VR mode? Like a separate VR mode?
I mean, essentially, it's not the same game.
It's a limited VR mode.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same game as the flat screen version.
Who the hell makes that Concrete Genie random Toxie?
Pixelopus.
Is it by Pixelopus?
Nope.
So it's a random. Okay, so there's a flat screen. Is the VR mode in the same game as the flat screen game?
Oh, that's a good question. I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So it's a flat screen game that has a VR mode. And it's not a popular IP. Previously, it was crap. Ooh. But he said it's not a popular IP, so it can't be Tomb Raider. Not a popular IP, right?
No.
Is there any combat at all?
No.
Okay, so kind of platforming, kind of puzzle solving. How much time do I have left?
It's a good question. 2 seconds. Name a game.
What? Really?
Yep.
Oh man, that was a quick thing. Is it Disaster Report?
No, but that's a great guess, Looper. This is unfortunately far worse. This is Cat Lateral Damage VR.
I was honestly like the Conrad the kitten or one of those crossed my mind for half a second, and I was thinking about it.
Yeah. No, I was so disappointed in this because this is a game I actually reviewed flat screen early days of Without Parole before PSVR 1 came out. And I was like, holy crap, this is coming to PSVR. And I'm so obsessed with PSVR. I'm so excited for this. And then it came out and it was fucking teleportation. But you did have giant cat paws. They just knocked shit off of shelves. And I was like, this could have been so much fun, but they biffed it. They biffed it so hard. So hard.
That was a good one. That was a good one. That was definitely winnable. Just a tough one.
Mischievous Markio, the Underground Gamecast, said, I like how the timer has subscribe on it. Yeah, I don't know who I stole that from, but I definitely stole it from somebody that is not a Without Parole exclusive. It's amazing. All right, man. Hey, listen, this has been a nice long show. Haven't felt like I haven't done one in a while. It's probably not true. I think we just did one last week. But I'm really, really glad I was able to do a show this week. And thank you for being here, AJ. It felt very, very old school, very retro Without Parole. Did a light go off over there?
Yeah, I turned it off.
Are you already getting ready for bed? Am I going to like cut to you and you'll be brushing your teeth and shit?
I'm very tired. Now that the show's over, I can say it. I'm very tired.
Well, I appreciate you pushing through, man. It was a good time, and I hope everybody out there had a good time. Thanks to all the people who helped this channel run, people over patreon.com/withoutparole-games. You guys keep the bills paid. Everyone who tips during the show, you keep the bills paid. Everyone who's a member over here, you guys, thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate you being in the community. If you're not supporting us financially, don't fucking worry about it, man. Like, money's always secondary or tertiary. We're just happy that you're here. So thanks to everybody who hangs out during the show, keeps us entertained. But also, of course, everybody who sits back and watches the show doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there. We love you just as much. AJ. Here it is.
Motherfucking cat, Brian, because I want to say, see you guys next week too. Xavier says, cats. Chrome Colossus says, point to the right, thumbs up, point to the left, thumbs up. I think he's meaning like the video. Headbite, thank you. Mischievous Markio, the Underground Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house. Let's cue the cat. Silver Nexus, it's been real, homie. Take care, be merry, and game on. Game Cats. Bambino Ramos, love you too, homie. Have a great night. Blue Heart, the Bat, and the Game Cat. Love this surprise Friday Gamescast. Great show. I told you, spontaneous. You'll never see it coming. Shades of Grey Matter, thank you so much, man. I'm glad you enjoyed the show, and you have a great weekend. Mark Poppin, Pringles Leaf, thank you so much, man, as well as you, Mad_vegan member. Salvador in the house tonight. What up, man? Peace out, homie. The Hippie Pickle says metal up your ass. That's a Metallica reference. Scott, the PSVR game cap for life. Once again, happy 50th anniversary, mom and dad. Mom and daddy Scott. Chris Forthenberry, because your mother smelled like a hamster and your daddy was made of Fortenberries. Jason Ewing, what up, man? Good to see you. Steve, IRE, he's from Ireland, and he said the cat's on strike. The Fenner, PSVR2 says, we out. We out 500G. We out. Random Toxic, the VR game Smilodon. I'm just going through random names now. Says super hot. No, he didn't even say that. He said, are you a giant? That was the question that he asked. It was a good question to ask. I think that's about everybody I can get at this
Fantastic. Time. Well, then before we end the show, here it is, you guys. Your clip of the week, Andrew Ehrenreich. AJ, let's cue the motherfucking cat.
Not again.
Oh, we didn't do it the first time. I kept trying to stop you, but you were unstoppable. You were unstoppable, AJ. And I was like, I figured I just watch you scream names in person. It was awesome. I really appreciate it. So this is
you so much right now.
I love you too, AJ. Yeah, let's fucking check out what happened 2 years ago. This day in Without Parole history. Yeah, we're gonna go check it out. I don't know. I never planned this out of time, so it's always gonna be always a little embarrassing, honestly. I'm planning it out. What is it? Okay. Here we go. August 15th, 2022. Electric Hat spills the beans about their To the Top sequel with special guest Daniel Dunham. Yo, where's our To the Top sequel, Daniel Dunham?
Yeah, where's that shit?
Right? Super Kit was in development for PC and PSVR2. I'm assuming it was going to come to Quest. And then Dan got hired at Skydance Games. He's working on Behemoth currently. So when will we see the To the Top sequel? Dan, are you here? Do you have an answer for us? Because I think we all need to know.
Do it, Dan.
Dan, where the fuck are you? We need answers.
The fuck are you, Dan?
No, where is it? Oh no, we've depressed everybody in the chat. Well,
You really have made everybody really sad.
Everybody's
This is what Brian does. This is what he does. He gives you so much hope, and then he rips your heart out through your ass.
the Fenner says AJ did cue the cat a cappella. That was fucking great. All right, that made me smile. Good night, everybody. We love you all.